Let me see. Appreciate the super chats. Continue this on. Yeah, so yeah. Jump on the other one. All right. What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video, another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. I'm your host, Edward Anderson. This is a continuation. I am not gonna be on here long. I just wanted to give some of y'all the opportunity if y'all got an opinion. In fact, let me email E again. I'm curious of what this dude got to say about where I'm wrong about the Lapeef network. Let's see what he got. So the link is in down there. Do what you need to do. All right. I actually got me a book that just came in, a sales book called The System. This bitch is deep. This shit one of them free books, but shit's deep. Fuck. Always gotta make that money. Let's see. Oh, this got a lot of notes. Yeah, this shit. No, it ain't that bad. Okay. Okay, it's got a lot of these pages. Okay. It's actually a good book. Alright, let's see what the fuck y'all talking about. So yeah, so this link is really for yeah, you right, Samuro. I mean, they don't have to be. It's just a lot of it is laziness and mindset. But dudes be killing me. Yeah, she bad. She bad. You know, she oh my god, she bad. I'm like, nigga. And it be like the basic it be basic shit too. And I'm glad because BGS proved that my standards ain't even all that high. Like motherfucker, y'all, yo standard, you just act like nah, that ain't what it is. All right, so let me go through some of the cash out. Much appreciated. Shout out to F Holiday for the $10 once again. Dardar for the $5 a while ago. And I'm waiting for 504 because I ain't gonna keep this open long. He said he wanted to say something about the Lapeef. I hear him out about the Lapeef. Kendra got in that ass a couple of days ago, like with them last couple of clips though. Don't even get me started on that Amira because I know Melody did like an 8-hour stream on Amira and is Amira racist? You know, Amira definitely got some mentalities that are very misguided. I'll say that. But I really don't give a damn about trying to. What I find fascinating is women that'll have certain thoughts like Amira, but it's like you like being around black people. I've never understood that. It's not the main topic. 504 said I had some things about wrong about the Lapeef, and I'm giving him the opportunity to come up. Shout out to Vernon King for the $30. Much appreciated, my brother. My brother. Like Umar say when motherfuckers are giving him that money. My brother. Ask Umar, how much does it cost? How much do I gotta pay annually to not be considered a coon, even though I like to date white women? How much are you willing to donate to the black community, my brother? Somebody should ask Umar that. Dudes calling fat women thick is how we got Lizzo. The same, yeah. But those be broke ass niggas, and them women know them niggas are broke. No, I mean, when you say nah, she got some prejudiced views. She got some views that need to be ironed out. But the thing about Amira is Amira sees black people as an arm of the Democratic Party. So if you're not really, if you have the kind of political belief she has, she's not as likely to do that. But she got some little views that need to be checked. But the problem is the niggas that tend to think like her are the niggas that's gonna go along with that bullshit. That's why they try to focus on her femininity. So they're not helping at all. I mean, their topic. Oh, okay, JC. What their topic of conversation? I mean, shit. We giving them free promotion, and they're getting peer reviewed. I mean, they're getting free promotion. It is what it is. I mean, that you know how we do it here. I ain't calling nobody out. 504 actually requested to come up. He asked to come up. I wouldn't go do this shit. Man, a lot of strippers look better than Six the Goddess. She ain't in her heyday now. I mean, all you got like it. I don't even honestly. I ain't knocking her hustle. Niggas like I'm not gonna have a different conversation. I mean, well, yeah, I prefer if y'all gotta. I prefer to redirect them niggas sent money to Jessica X if it's got to go to somebody. But truth be told, I'm not knocking her hustle. I mean, who looks better? I give a damn about how Six looks. I'm really just talking about what comes out her mouth. Like y'all will sit there and big up Six Goddess over Love Dorsey just because y'all like how Six Goddess sound. To me, that's dumb. And y'all keep like, oh, she's a this, she's a that. It shouldn't even matter. Yeah, I said that. Strag. Man, O'Shea was talking about in Africa they got booty growth cream. Booty growth cream. Oh my god, y'all niggas. Looks don't even matter right now. I'm talking about what comes out of these motherfuckers' mouths because these motherfuckers are influencing other females. That's what you need to understand. Remember, Six has like over 140,000 followers on Instagram. Her strongest shit really ain't even on YouTube. Booty growth, oh, are you serious? And that's in Africa, to be fair. I got some booty. If you believe that, then I got some booty growth cream to sell you. Get some booty growth cream, put some cocoa butter on it. Take some cocoa butter and then do the label as booty growth cream. I'd be a millionaire. Love Dorsey is great where she is. She don't need to be a part of the manosphere. Because what you gotta understand is everybody can't be under one tent saying the same shit, cause then people just gonna say we a cult. And they ain't got the money to be buying that shit. I mean, she's attractive, but motherfuckers be like, I don't know what the. Oh my god, they do it because you niggas fall for it. Just like how niggas do shit because women fall for it. I'm going not go keep this up. Since I'm gonna give this a little bit more time. Let's do this while we waiting though. We are going to do this while we are waiting. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Now, that's all that is. You motherfuckers hustling up some change.
I don't see these pulling 80 pounds. This is way more than I anticipated. Fitness has always been a part of my life.
Appreciate it, Gail. Shout out to Young Jay. Why are pro blacks, the conscious community, and Nation Islam quiet on Kareem saying if you don't get the job, you shouldn't be in the league? Oh, the jab. Oh, you talking about the vac? Yeah, you shouldn't be in the league. Man, I mean, because people have different opinions on that. I mean, it ain't our job to push back on that. They just that's the NBA's fault. They know what they signed up for. I mean, that ain't really our problem. It ain't our problem. Because even with other athletes, it ain't he like trust me, Kareem, there's other athletes that agree with him. They just don't want to say it. So that's kind of up there. And quite frankly, like cuz for instance, I'm not vaccinated. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty much kind of quarantined. I'm not really around people. So, yeah. Anyway,
Childhood playing sports all my.
I don't really know if I.
so we're going to check this out. Now, I'm going to skip past this. This is a lot of Poor Man's Podcast. Shout out to Poor Man's Podcast. He's at 118. He just hit like 100,000. He just hit 100,000 like I think 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, this dude is going to be at 200. This dude is going up. Shout out to 980s. I believe he's Kenyan. So, y'all talk about fuck the jab. Y'all stupid. I really didn't know when y'all was saying UT. I'm like, y'all talk about white folks with UT. I don't know what the fuck. I'm not. I need to. Oh yeah, Kendra was promoting that glossary that they have. I was laughing. I was like, y'all should go get it. Nigga, we taught that shit. Go get it anyway. No damn. Kendra by the end of the year be at like 30,000. Be like, yeah, motherfucker, fuck y'all now. Like, no, fuck y'all niggas now. Could you imagine if you know I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm done with YouTube if or at least in this sector. Imagine if this is gonna be a what if episode. What if Corinne Jakir get to 100,000 subs and she do 100,000 party and then Danica Maria Six got to show up in that mother and then Courtney and Kay show up in that motherfucker. I'm quitting YouTube. I'm gonna put a rest in peace thing on the thumbnail with no sound and that's it. I'm going back to my first name, Alan. And I'm going back. Poor Man's Podcast is Kenyan. I'm going back to my internet marketing. I'm done. It's over. I'm done. Shout out to Harambe. Ed, these broads were so ghetto and hood on the video. Yeah, but look, shout out to light skinned Keisha. Cause I judged her. Any chick to call it light skinned Keisha. I'm like, nah, we not even starting. But like, let's listen. I mean, and shout out to LaP, shout out to JR for putting her on because it worked out for both parties. And shout out to because TJ gets on my nerves sometimes, but she really did try to help Kay out. Kay ain't listening though.
Necessarily want to get married.
Do you want to have kids?
I do want to have kids.
But that means that you're planning to already bring this child into and have a deficit in their life.
This is actually a lot why I like Love Dorsey, except minus the cuss words and then the tats. Y'all niggas just act like. See, Ty City couldn't do a video on me if I was doing this.
Right?
Wow. But
do you think that a man should pay all your bills?
Feel that way. I'm not gonna lie.
What? You feel like he should take all our bills?
Because we should do a drinking game. I'm gonna start doing a drinking game called every time a bitch says I feel like drink. Y'all be dead.
If not, then I could just live by myself like I'm already doing.
And then you have all these women talking about they got their hand out, but baby, you don't even know how to cook.
Right.
And even if you do know how to cook, your food is nasty. That's why he going to his side bitch getting the other meal.
I know some of you niggas be doing that. Hashtag Pookie game. Hashtag homosexual game. That's why you niggas always be with some of these fat, ugly bitches because one of them can cook.
What's up, YouTube? Poor Man Podcast back with another video.
Even though most of these chicks are fat because they eat fast food, not because they eating their own shit.
Give me the HBO special. That's the Help a Brother Out special. Hit the like and subscribe button for more
BDB jumps. You
guys back with another video.
And the reason why I really applaud Poor Man is because Poor Man got a basic setup, and that shows that anybody can put some shit together, if the quality is. So I like that. I'm surprised DJ Kudo. See, man, that nigga got a mic. That's all he need. But see, y'all wouldn't be like that if y'all didn't have no mic, motherfucker. Fuck Fantastic. Niggas be getting mad. Fantastic ran away from YouTube. Nigga on the boat can't do shit. I'ma get that nigga when I get back. When I dock, I'ma beat that nigga's ass. It's 504 here. I mean, oh my God. Yeah, I'm done. Because at that point, I shouldn't be talking to nobody else. Not about this. I'm like, y'all can have it. Nigga, that'll be like that Ultron What If episode. I'm not gonna give no spoilers. But y'all know how that shit ended. That nigga said, I've seen it all, but what the hell is this? I've seen everything that could happen, will happen, has happened. But what the hell is this? That nigga.
Yo, give me the HBO special. That's the Help a Brother Out special. Hit the like and subscribe button.
I don't know. I just gotta see. We gotta figure out what type of time he on. When the BDB jumps, you say how hard.
Right.
That's what you gotta do. So we have a term called a BDB, a big dick baller. We gonna get into that later because you know
a big dick baller. I didn't even know what that terminology was. A big dick baller, a BDB. I told you, no sexual discipline. No sexual discipline. You heard him.
He got you one, girl. She got no man. She out the game, y'all. I'm ready to take notes.
Right.
The weave. They all three got it, but look at this shit. Like,
now she posted some new shoes, some beautiful jewelry, everything.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and get into these topics. Okay. So you are a relationship. We are very much not. Right. So the first topic we wanted to talk
the nails
about today is
single and fucking
somebody down and fighting for your relationship versus leaving. Mm-hmm. Because I'm a leave. I can't. As soon as a nigga I text a nigga, he don't text me back in 3 minutes. I'm like, you know what? I'm posting Instagram posts. You know what? I'm a real bitch. I'm
texting another nigga already.
Oh yeah, I know. That's problem number one.
That's the problem.
The attention. See, that's why we need you.
That's why we talking to you. See,
like this is the fucking clubhouse circle jerk that these women emotionally are doing, and you got females that they got dudes. Like having thoughts being put in their head, fucking up their own relationships. A lot of these females be in better relationship situations than the bitches they listening to. That's what's sad. I mean, I don't got a problem with Kuda. I like Kuda too. I thought, quite frankly, Kuda should just took it on the chin with the mic shit because everybody's not gonna be on that. Like, I don't disagree that getting your equipment will help you grow, but everybody ain't necessarily trying to do it for that reason. Yeah, and a lot of these females, they be, and again, every black woman doesn't act like this, but I'm not going to act like I don't see this as much as I see it.
Okay, so what y'all want to know?
So are you a hold them down? I'm not leaving. We going to work things out.
Well, when you say hold them down, what do you mean? Because what? Hold down what?
Hold down the relationship.
You mean it's depending on what happened?
Yeah, sometimes men mess up. Yeah. Sometimes, men aren't perfect. They might slide in somebody's DMs, or they might be out, get drunk, passed out, not answer your phone call. Stuff like that, it'll make me put my guard back up. I won't necessarily stop talking to you, but I always just feel like it's so many bitches, especially in Atlanta. We live in
Of course you in Atlanta. This is why, go ahead, nigga. This is pumping. This is why you pump and dump. You can't be taking these. These two, come on. Listen to this shit. And I'm glad she's in the middle so you can act like you can see the difference. I want you all to see the difference in software.
Atlanta, we know how it is out here. So I just feel like if a nigga's not doing, paying attention to me.
Take a shot.
giving me the time. It's like, okay, you giving your time to somebody else.
Especially in the dating stage.
Right.
You know, I think it's easy to be not interested in you.
As if these chicks know anything else but the fucking stage. As if they know anything else.
But I feel also it just depends on what type of man
Take a shot.
you're going for too. So therefore you have to hold yourself accountable for what type of guys you're going for. Because if you thinking already like that, like you going into a situation where you feel like, oh, he finna be cheating.
Take a shot.
You know, or he finna be fucking with somebody else, then that's not the one for you.
Right.
Exactly.
But what
And I think that we're not having an honest conversation sometimes, man. Like we have
Ain't no
these
sometimes.
choices that you make in the men that you want to deal with. So what happens is women will go and seek these guys out that are.
do you guys want to be somebody's wife? What do you want to be?
Yeah, see, we talk about that all the time on the show. Sometimes I don't really know if
That's a lie.
I necessarily want to get married.
Do you want to have kids?
I do want to have kids, but I'm not sure if I want to get married.
Now remember I want you to remember any y'all that saw Red Supreme's video. Now they're gonna play this game like this is one black woman. They have a popular show. They represent a popular opinion. Remember what Six said about you having somebody's kids and you did this. This is how that starts. Remember, you're a single mother in the mind before you ever had your first kids. I believe both these chicks don't have kids.
So why do you? This is my question.
Okay.
Why do you want to have kids?
Hell no.
She always say she don't want to have kids.
We gonna drink. I got too much shit to do.
But why?
And I can, and honestly, I'd rather a female had that mentality than a female had that I want kids, but I don't want to get married mentality. Because at least this a female. Now, obviously, women catch feelings. They talking about, she say that bullshit, but you get a BDB, a big dick baller. Please, she lying. She'll be just like that bitch with fucking Rick Ross.
Okay.
Don't believe that.
Hey, so you don't want to have kids. So, okay, you a different story. But you,
Okay.
you want to have kids, but you don't know if you want to get married. So that means that you already gonna be. You're planning to already bring this child into and have a deficit in their life, right?
Wow.
I mean, I feel like if I find the right person, we could get
Take a shot. Manco, you ain't shit.
married. Sometimes I don't really have a lot of faith
But
in
do you have
these
to find the
niggas.
right person to have the baby?
I do think I have to find the right person to have a kid, but I also feel like I'm in a position where I'm doing things for my own, so I would completely be
Take a shot. Y'all think I was fucking playing.
okay with having to take on that responsibility by myself as far as financial shit go if I have to.
I don't think that's okay.
I don't think it's okay.
Oh wow.
And I'm glad the way she's saying it, like she ain't, because this is that ha it sounds bullshit that people like to pull. You gotta say it right. You gotta say it right. You can't say it. You can't say it the way that makes me feel bad. Anyway, shout out to Gail. They represent a lot of women out here, and so does that worst woman ever on Kaya's show. You know what? She's in a special. That's a special situation, even for normal shit. Because I saw her interviews on with JR, because JR apparently knows her, and that's a special snowflake. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I could tell she really believed the shit she's saying. She really believed it. But yeah, she does. And when they in Atlanta, you already know how these chicks in Atlanta are. Atlanta is, man, Atlanta. And I personally think Atlanta got the most soulless bitches outside of probably LA. Atlanta got the most soulless bitches in all the cities. That's me personally, though. And I'm from Chicago saying shit. What's up, Freemans?
Yo, what's up, man?
I'm gonna start saying catcher, Freeman.
No, man, I gotta say, LA got him beat.
You think LA? Yeah, LA should have them beat. Yeah, but I think Atlanta outside
for soulless black women, Atlanta. For soulless women, period. LA.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because the thing about LA for black women is LA is not a great dating market for black women. I mean, if you're an 8 or above, it doesn't matter because you're kind of in the universal category. But I mean, for like 7s or 6s, you're not going to get that plus. It's not going to be about the body. So many people collapse in there, and And the thing is, LA keeps black women hella honest because you got the liberal atmosphere out there. So dating other races of women is, I mean, that's what you do. That's not every black man don't do that, but it's enough of them. Like they talk about these BDBs, big. I didn't even know what the fuck that was. Big dick baller. I'm like, okay. So you dealing with a nigga like that, you realize you're at the mercy of whatever the fuck he wants to do.
Basically.
So I mean, I don't even understand why you have these why would you why you have it's like a dude saying I'm gonna date this 9 and expect I don't have to compete. It doesn't matter if you have money. It don't matter if you know how to put it down. Somebody's gonna challenge it. It's up to her at that point.
Well, yeah, a 9 is about the money. If you don't have the cash, it don't matter.
Yeah, and if you want a 9, it ain't about the money. And even this that don't always work going overseas, because usually overseas they'll get drafted. because you dealing with dudes, so they say you shoot. But anyway, let me see. JC, shout out to the $1.99. Why would any man take these women serious? They don't. These women are great. These women are the way they look, especially the one on the right. I could see a dude that look, like dark skinned women. He got a good cup of liquor in him. She kind of had that look. Then you'll see. She talk about she a head doctor. Watch.
No, they're pin cushions. There's no future there.
Yeah.
Just penis magnets.
Yeah, and this is why when you listen to what they say, it's like, and I like because because she's a rapper. I believe she's a rapper. She's like in the mid tier, so she's actually known. She's kind of getting known. So you can't see, so it can't be like, oh well, she light skin, or she, even though her name is literally light skin Keisha. And it's crazy because I'm like, you're not light skinned, but okay. Which I don't care. I mean, but whatever. Let's go.
The generation that we live in, because I just feel like that's how most of these niggas are. I do.
No, those are the niggas that you going after. You got to find somebody that's going to.
But I don't really be going after nobody. It be the people that be coming after me. I don't go. If we being honest, I don't go chase these niggas. It be the niggas that be trying to talk to me.
Well, not necessarily go after, but I'm saying these, obviously, if you're giving your attention to these people, then you know what I'm saying? That's what's going, but I just feel like women, we have to take accountability.
Take a shot. I just feel like
as far as where we're giving our attention to. You know what I'm saying? The type of man that we're giving our attention to.
I agree.
I want marriage to be a thing again. I want women to feel like they should be able to get married because y'all deserve that. Why not? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I want it to be a thing again too. I talk about it all the time on the show, how I grew up in a 2-parent household. My parents were married my whole life, but I just feel like niggas don't be built like how my daddy was no more. They really don't.
But
I mean, yeah. Anyway,
are women built how your mother was?
Well, I mean, that's crazy. What do you think about that part?
And look, man, I got to be honest. I saw this earlier today. I was like, these broads are terrible. Terrible. I mean, bro, ratchet broads are like big pigeons. I don't even see them. I don't even see them in public. It's like they're pecking around for a piece of bread, and I don't notice. This shit is crazy.
Yeah, it is, and it's really interesting. I mean, and then it's interesting. She said she grew up in a 2-parent household, which I'm not surprised because people always like to blame it on a single mother. But the culture is deep. I mean, at the end of the day, you can look at them. It's the starter kit.
I mean, it's hard to describe, man. Just what do you do?
It don't matter. It's because she's dark. That's why you really don't like her. Just say that.
Oh man,
she's dark.
Crazy, man. All I did was dark skinned chicks. From being a senior in high school till I was in my mid 30s. I was in my mid 30s, so I messed with a light skinned chick. They all had to be dark skinned, and she ain't even that dark.
Not like the one on the right.
Yeah, she can't even claim dark skin. If you're not a Hershey guy, you're not dark skin.
No. Oh wow.
But there are some dudes out there that's built like that, and it's gonna take time, but
you can find one.
But time is kind of ticking.
I guess I just feel like it just be crazy.
Take a shot. I just feel like
crazy because me being a single woman, literally, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, like half the men that are in my DMs be married. Yeah. So I'll be like, is this what I have to look forward to? Like,
so let me ask you something. Do you think that all men cheat?
I do.
We both do.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We're tainted.
Done.
Yeah. This is a counseling session. We are tainted.
Yeah, you are. The nails say it all
men don't cheat. Yes. I'm gonna say that right now.
Here?
That's facts.
That nigga is doing the camera shit. You gotta listen to this shit all day, nigga. How much you getting paid for this shit? I bet you that. And you know he gotta hear it because he gotta do the audio. So you can't just put shit in your ears and just you gotta actually listen to the bullshit.
Bro, the clicking nails too. I mean, are nails any better barometer for how a black woman thinks?
Yeah, I mean, look at
the broad on the left. Look at those nails are insane.
Yeah. Like, and they think dudes ain't sizing that up. And people be like, you create pumping. No, you don't. These women, like this woman comes from a 2-parent household. Pump and dump do not create these women. Y'all need to cut that bullshit out. Like, when people be saying that, like dudes be saying that shit be making me mad, yo.
Yeah, no, they came that way. They came that way and they perpetuated, and you know, and that's the thing, man. They can't come later and try to find a dude that is a provider. A provider don't want them. He doesn't. Nobody's looking at that and thinking, oh man, let me get those 23 chromosomes to take my legacy into the future. That's a hard no.
I've always wondered that too for a split second. Somebody say, how did you wipe her ass with them nails? They find a way. And I'm going to tell you why I know. Because I worked in a call center and women had long nails like that and they can type. So if they can find a way to do that, they figure it out.
They can type fast as hell.
I won't say type fast as hell, but they can type faster than you would think. They can type enough to do the job well. Trust me, I used to supervise a team full of nothing but black women. I swear, I was like, you trying to get me fired. Why the fuck, like, all my teams have nothing but, like, you have a problem? No, but you ain't giving me, like, 2 dudes? I mean, like, like, I got like 15 people. It's all sisters. Like it's white people here too. That shit shouldn't happen like 5 teams. And I said I ain't got no problem. They and one time they actually said because like I know how to talk to them or some shit. And I said no,
you the HNIC Ed. You gotta be the buffer.
Well, it ain't like that. But it's like I guess I know how to communicate with them in such a way that it get them to do what I need them to do. Because no, I didn't. You can't do that. Especially in the call center, you can't be on some. I ain't even on front like I was putting a foot down on it. No, you gotta talk to them like they defense attorney, and it's like, right. Yeah, like I'm on your side because it don't matter. Because if they don't do the numbers, you don't get your bonuses. You don't get your bonuses, and it don't matter because if multiple of them are fucking up, then they're gonna try to play the common denominator is you, and on top of that, you're black. So you're a black man. So yeah, that's how that works. So Mr. Pump and Dump, keep up the good work. Much appreciated. This is almost finished. I was waiting for 504, but he didn't come up, so whatever.
All men don't cheat.
Okay, I will say this. I have been in situations
but do you feel like all men have cheated?
She just had to add that in there. Like, because that's their narrative story. They need to believe that because that's what justifies why they do the way they do. That's why they justify what they do the way they do. And this kind of ties into like what you get women like these influencers also, and they're influencers on social media. All they're doing is reinforcing what these women already want to believe, and they can do it, but this is how the world works.
What I mean.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna say. Like, this is what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
When you find like, okay, so do I feel like all men have cheated probably prior into like in their early relationship?
Yeah. The word "think" must not be in the vocabulary.
Maybe. Okay. I don't know. I can't speak for all men in all relationships. Right. I can only speak on the experiences that I've been through. But I will say this.
This is how you communicate with the bullshit. I can't deny what you're saying. I can only
The relationship that I'm in now, our problems are not infidelity. Our problems are not who you are not. It's not about who DMs you in and who's in your DMs and da 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 da. We don't have those problems. Our problems is you were supposed to upload that content or we were supposed to get work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. That's our problems. But that's because we understand each other, and I feel like. But
that sounds like he run his ass.
The problem is nowadays though. a lot of girls don't even get to know these guys that they're trying to pursue either. So it's both on both ends. Like nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's gotta be a soundbite.
I think that's them. No. I mean,
no, it's soundboard worthy.
I got some good ones, man. I really do. I need to get on my, because I got some ideas. Because I be listening to enough shit that, trust me, even not even in this space that I could bring into it. You're right, it would be one. And what was she saying? Yeah, so let's go. It'll come back to me.
Trying to really get to know each other. Everybody just kind of dating people for what they see and what they.
Oh yeah, like it's like y'all don't think of these dudes as dudes. Y'all think of them as big dick ballers. That's why when what's her name, Sweetie, could swing. Like I don't know if you saw that elevator scene with Sweetie and Quavo, where like they broke up. Like this chick, this light skin out of nowhere just swung on this nigga, and it's like, yo, women. For you to be bold like that, to be smaller, but you think you just gonna swing over him over something as simple as that, and she ain't even known to be ratchet like that, y'all are way too comfortable.
Right. Me and my boyfriend, we were best friends, and honestly, we didn't even like each other. Like never.
Yeah, right.
So how long y'all friends?
And trust me, I've heard it. I've heard that shit.
Before y'all started dating,
we probably been friends maybe like 7 years or so, 7 to 8 years. Wow, yeah, 7 to 8 years. I met him maybe in like 2012.
Man, that nigga did a fucking stint in prison. In the friend zone. Hey, I'm happy for him that he came out on the side, but that's not recommended.
Honestly, so realistically, almost about 10 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, that nigga needs to write a book, how to come out of the friend zone, come out of the other side.
So for a while.
Yeah, we've been friends for a while, so that's what I'm saying. So it's like we don't look at it as like he knows, like, okay, so say this, like if one of us hurt each other,
10 years of non-sexual attention.
It's not hurting our boyfriend or girlfriend. We hurting our dog. Right. That's my partner. Like, like that's my best friend. So it's a different type of.
If he cheats on her, she gonna kill him and make an album about it. I bet you she would.
Situation, but you gotta get to know these people. Yeah. Because I don't think that a lot of women or men be getting to really know, like, okay, well, what's your flaws or what are you damaged by? Like why you gotta, you know what I'm saying?
Sounds like Love Dorsey.
How do you think that all men cheat?
Well, we do say like the type of man that you're supposed to.
He said 10 years of possibility of sex. Silent Lamont said the future is Steph Curry. Like what do you say? Steph Curry minus the simp in him.
Like you supposed to date somebody that has ambition, that can do stuff for you, but a lot of things get misconstrued on this podcast because a lot of times people think we're saying like you're supposed to have everything needs to be trained.
These nails, bitch, fuck these nails, man. And they really be thinking like, I know a chick that sells nails and she makes great money doing it. Like, and I hope these motherfuckers be buying that shit. Like they really do, yo.
Transactional. We do not condone that.
We don't subscribe to that.
Stop trying to act like we don't subscribe to hoeing. Basically what it is because if you get transactional, a dude is going to eventually get a return on that investment. They don't subscribe to transaction because if you keep it magical, dudes it's going to be crazy.
So women nowadays want like transactional things like you have to do A, B, C, D, E, F, and it's
to
like
fuck with me.
Right.
And
they don't offer anything.
I'm not going to fuck with you.
Right. So I feel like a lot of times,
and we all know that shit, like if you a dude that can light pipe, we already know that's not what y'all doing. Like that's the problem. Y'all ain't got no sexual discipline. And the dudes that y'all don't want, let's say this, it's not that they don't want them, it's that because a lot of these it's always like they either want them or they don't. That's not true. A lot of times it's like, I'm saying it too. It's not that they don't want these guys, but these are not their first option. These are kind of like second string quarterbacks. They can play, but you obviously got a first string. So, you're going to do a whole bunch of other shit. You're going to have to hold the fucking football during the kickoff. You got to do all that bullshit. And then if the opportunity presents itself, like the first time out of commission for whatever reason, you going to step up. That's what they expect. And dudes are not doing that. Dudes are not doing that because there's no value in that. To dudes. It's really not.
women go into relationships and they need somebody to like take care of them. They're looking for somebody to save them.
Yeah.
And no, women demand those things from men that don't meet their physical criteria.
Exactly.
And when I
like what you would do if you're in a relationship, like what you do.
What
like,
you mean?
Like what can you bring to the table?
I feel like I make my own money. I'm bossing up. Like I got my own shit going on. That's what I can bring to the table. Plus, I'm a loving person. I'm a take.
What you so how much money you gonna give me? What are you talking about? You supposed to, so that shit don't matter. No money don't matter. Like well, okay, you bossing up. What if I were to pay you? If I were to pay you a consultant fee, what can you help me in my business? Like, did you could actually give me tangible result? I don't know. Exactly. So none of that matters.
Take care of the household. I'm gonna make sure she's straight in the house.
I'm bossing up.
That's a lie.
Do you suck dick? Do you suck dick good?
I
Do you
do
have
suck
good
dick
pussy?
good. I won a dick sucking contest a few years ago.
She said she won a dick sucking contest a few years ago. I'm not gonna lie. You know, a lot of dudes will say, you know, we will definitely take that under consideration. That, you know, that probably be one of the most honest answers of what you can tell me you bring it to the fucking table. Cause there's a Nick, there are dudes out there that if you got that kind of skill, they will pay you to be in house. Like seriously, I hate to say it, but that's better than what most of these like bitch yo like shit. I can't cook. Remember, that's why I saw Cardi B. I can't cook and clean, but how I get that ring?
Oh, she paid for the ring.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
On the head.
But the problem is, here's the problem. It's not about, I'm not just paying rent and all of that. I'm paying for this weave. The weave is as much, weave getting it so in, how much it costs. That's as much as rent. You know, that's more than rent to some of these females. Like a lot of y'all be, because they don't be just expecting that bullshit. They be expecting a maintenance shit too. Right. And that's like a whole nother cost. It's like, you're not worth that. Like, you just not.
Doctor.
Probably not something your future husband wants to hear.
It was a deal though. It wasn't a real deal.
Okay.
It was
Now, me on the other hand.
Bingo. And this is another point. I'm sorry. I know this is going to be a little bit longer video. I hope y'all got the attention spans.
I feel like a lot of times in relationship, then I'm gonna make a reservation. Okay, no, wait now. Wait, calm down.
Bingo.
Because I feel like a lot of times in relationships, you know what? You want somebody to clean, I'm gonna call the maid.
So they all just agreed that the men that exist today are
right.
And that's another thing too. And that's a thing that I see with the Lapeef show. You see it with six of them saying all these women want traditional men, but they want to be these fucking 304. That's really, that shit ain't gonna fly. What are your thoughts about that, Friedman?
Yeah, man. It's not. They're gonna age out and they're gonna look for a provider and they're not gonna find one. You know, they're gonna find an average dude. That's it. And they're gonna be unhappy. They're not gonna have enough sense to appreciate it. You know?
No, because they're gonna think they settled.
Yeah, they're gonna think they settle. And you know, when she's 40 and still on her podcast and thinking, you know, that broke down condo she bought back in the day is still doing her some good. It's just women like this have to be the example of what not to do, unfortunately.
You're starting to see that come up, and then you start to see some women get smart, but you also see some women, you know how it is. Let's see, it's almost done.
Okay, yeah, you can make some pasta, bitch. Like, it's a lot of bitches out here cooking, but they don't make good partners. And a lot of men, that's what they do. They want to be like, okay.
That's what like that bullshit is stupid. Like that's like, oh, they cooking clean, or they do this, but they not that. There's a lot of bitches that look good and wear weave. That ain't shit. It's more of that. Like people kill me. Like, let me be very. I hate using word. Like, let me go ahead.
This is the same broad who said, I don't do any of those things, and said, I don't want kids because I'm going to go out and smoke hookah and do this and that. So what good is she?
The way they try to sell it is they try to undermine like one attribute and say, well, it doesn't matter if you can do this because of this. And the thing is, the shit is so self-serving, and a lot of women do that. They do self-serving shit. And the thing is, we'll say, okay, we're going to look at the majority of where these numbers average out. It's very few females that would take the time to learn how to cook. You know, because truth be told, selfishly they can learn how to cook so they can eat better. But most of y'all don't do that. Y'all go the lazy route. So trust me, women having weave and having all this stuff, stop saying it. Oh, look at women be like me to be a heart of gold. That's possible. Is that what the average is though? The average chick that really know how to cook, that usually is an indicator of other qualities. Because usually she learned how to cook from her mother, and usually that's an indicator of type of family background. So y'all can say what the fuck y'all. But see, again, women throw that shit. Women throw that shit out. It's like fishing. They know niggas are gonna buy into that. Because dudes are not really critically thinking when they're hearing these females, because most of the things they're just charging off is this bitch ain't saying shit anyway. So I just want fuck or not fuck. So women have this thing where they think they getting over when they're not. It's just dudes have no reason to counter in the first place.
Can you cook? Can you clean? Okay, but what else?
Right.
There's more to being a woman than that, and I feel like that's what people have watered.
Well, give me an example.
Pause right here. But if there's something else to being a woman, what is it? Because all she did was disparage cooking and cleaning.
Yeah.
And like, I can order at a restaurant. And what else does she do is just go to the club and smoke hookah. So what is this ethereal thing that she thinks she has that other women who know how to cook,
like having 3-inch, like having 4-inch nails, smoking and drinking? That's what it is to be a woman. Having this fucking weave on. Like, are you serious?
A good woman down to is cooking and cleaning. You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like this. No, I definitely agree. But I also feel like this.
Twice. Take 2 shots.
When women are constantly like, oh, you got to give me something. You got to give those type of women. Right. It's also like, okay, well, what can you bring to the table?
Exactly.
Because
if you're not
like a lot of women. Like, say for instance, we can get to the whole bills thing. Mm-hmm. Do you think that a man should pay all your bills?
Not if are we living together or are we not together?
If y'all living together, you think you should pay your bills?
I think that he should be taking care of like the rent, mortgage. I'll take care of the small shit. That's what I think is fair.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real with you. The only purpose today of living with a chick, outside of you, like really even then, well, I would recommend if you plan on marrying a chick, I would recommend you doing that for a second. I would if you serious. But outside of that pathway, the only purpose of marrying chicks today is in-house pussy. That's it. That's it. There is no other reason. Because the way y'all make it seem like we're going to pay for we're paying for it. There is no other purpose. And even there's no other purpose. Like it's like a retainer. That's all that is. And to be honest, I'm a private person. I value my privacy, even when it comes to women I date. So the truth is that's an L I'm gonna have to take on top of that. So it's not worth it today. It's really not. If you got your own economic, no, it is not, because they don't appreciate that shit. They don't appreciate that shit at all. And they act like they doing, and you know what's crazy? They really think they doing you a favor by you moving in with them. In there, even if you paying for everything.
That's how I've done in my past situations. Because I've lived with a man before. Okay. So he was taking care of the things and I was doing the smaller shit.
I do feel that way. I'm not gonna lie.
What? You feel like he should take all our
Yeah, because if not, then I could just live by myself like I'm already doing.
Exactly. And that's what you need to do. Because there is literally no, I would love for women to tell me what is the benefit to a man living with them. Now, what dudes are always going to say is they're going to say, you're not chasing other women, economics. Okay, but you paying for everything, doing all that anyway. So what is the benefit outside of that? Because you're not getting any economic benefit from that other than you're not supposedly chasing other women. And chances are they.
Yeah, but you're gonna set yourself up to get kicked out too.
Oh, what you mean how?
And let me get into this too.
She got it with that. Even then, because these dumbasses will go half on the lease. If I'm paying for everything, everything's in my name. And then in North Carolina, you can't just kick people out like that. You cannot do that unless they live with you. The state is not for that.
First of all, let me say this, because I know that they might get this misconstrued. Whatever works for you, works for you. But there's a lot of women that are missing the point stuff here. At the end of the day, if you live with a man, that's okay, right? But if you're putting all this responsibility, it's so many women that's like, oh yeah, he should pay all the bills. Okay, so what are you doing? So that's when it comes into, okay, well, what are you doing for him? Oh, I I can even the basic factors are cooking, cleaning, taking care of the household, right? Or taking care of the kids or whatever the case may be. But then you have all these women talking about they got their hand out, but baby, you don't even know how to cook. And even if you do know how to cook, your food is nasty. That's why he going to his side bitch getting the other meal.
I'm not gonna lie, niggas ankles
She's going crazy. She's holding it down.
But I'm saying, but no. I'm not saying, but if you're willing to learn how to cook, then okay. But I'm saying, but you don't think that all men should pay all the bills.
But I will say, because the responsibility of running a household, especially when you're dealing with a BDB, that's a lot. So you gotta run the household.
Oh my God.
So
She lying. She do feel like niggas is supposed to pay all the bills.
No, I said he's supposed to.
Y'all not really running shit. Y'all are really not running jack shit. Please.
To pay because honestly, that mortgage, that rent, that shit a lot. You supposed to pay the big bills, but like the little stuff, I'm gonna make sure the house is running straight. This nigga don't. If I'm buying groceries, $200, $300 a week, whatever, I can go get that. That ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Paying the light bill, paying the water bill, that shit is gonna be taken care of.
You know what? Me personally, if I'm paying for everything. You know why? Because you're not gonna talk about what the fuck you paying for. But see, the thing is, the reason why I wouldn't play that game is because, truth be told, and not with these type of females, not the females to do that with. You got to deal with women that are really not used to really doing shit on their own, or they feel uncomfortable having to do that, because these women are always going to default to, I can do it on my own while I'm listening to you. So why am I going to take the upfront investment in doing that? And see, the problem is they want women, $300 a week in groceries. That's why these bitches are fat.
Care of, because that's little stuff compared to the big shit.
I'd be like, bitch, what are you buying? Alcohol? What the fuck are you buying? Probably alcohol.
That he got handling. As long as he knows he can come home, his lights is on, everything is good. You're supposed to make niggas' life easier. I do agree.
No, there's nothing about what the fuck you just said about making a nigga's life easier. And my question is, give me 3 things that makes a nigga's life easier. At least the chick on the right said head doctor. That's some shit dudes actually listen to and put a tangible value on. Like, for real. I mean, I'm loud, but for real, I mean, that's better than what most of these chicks are saying. Shit. Now the question is, are you actually gonna do it?
With that.
Well, I think that's
doing what we do.
That's exactly what it is. And guys, this is probably where I'm gonna end it. And I want to
get so anyway. That was fun. That's Atlanta. Yeah, I mean, Atlanta, and that's not, and trust me, I've had conversations with females from Atlanta, like on YouTube, shout out to MT. Atlanta is something fucking else. It really is. I don't know how you niggas can be in, I don't know. Atlanta has just fallen so bad. Atlanta is literally the centerpiece for the gynocracy right now. It really is. But anyway, I was waiting for a dude to come up and tell me why I was wrong about what I said with the Lapeef show. But he, I don't know. Maybe they went on there. See, look, Beast Mode Smooth. Look up Beast Mode Smooth. Winner is here on the community page. Okay. I already have As a Bachelor Without a Headache. I'm sorry for you, Atlanta niggas. Please move. Yeah, niggas telling me they moving to Atlanta. Yeah, man, I'm getting set up. I'm like, you're an idiot. You're going to be in Georgia. Don't live in ADL. Period. It's not what is anymore. It was dope in the night. Yep. When they was having the Olympics and shit.
Hell yeah, you ain't lying. I went to Morehouse when I got out of high school. Totally different city.
Yeah, and Atlanta's been living off the momentum from that. But Atlanta today, and I always had a lot of good things to say about Atlanta because you got Black Hollywood that could be down. Atlanta has like a lot of potential. It's just
quiet as kept. Atlanta's not even all that black anymore, to be honest. Not like it was. Not back in the Cosby Different World days. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it really ain't. Yeah, it's really not. I'm moving to Phoenix for them Latino. Phoenix. Let's see, PC Edward. Phoenix is growing.
Bro, you moved to South Florida for Latinas.
You know how
that's where you go.
Them niggas trying to go for the easy catch. Yeah, you might as well go to South Florida. Go to Broward. Palm Beach County. You ain't got to go to Miami-Dade necessarily.
No, Miami-Dade's just too fast. Too much traffic.
Yeah.
Broward is that just right. When you want the fast life, you can go. When you don't, you can stay home in Broward and get the middle of the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then you get access to them flights that can take your ass directly into Latin America. It's cheaper because it's a hub. Motherfuckers don't be thinking though. These niggas be like, man, I'm one of the bitches with the ass. Probably if you want to deal with sisters, I mean Houston, but even Houston's trick city. They tricking in Houston. That's why them chicks were complaining about they were going on strike in New York. They don't like dark skinned women. I'm like, you striking ain't gonna make them like it. You might as well just move to where you go to Houston. They'll trick on you there. You'll get that money. Why you being stupid? You know, we can't make as much money. TikTok strikes and shit. What black will be striking? They don't love us, so we're gonna get the BBLs. I said a lot of these BBLs is like body mutilation at this point. What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, it's terrible. I mean, look, I don't know. At some point, women are going to look back and go, wow, half the women in Atlanta have BBLs and none of them are married. Maybe this isn't a good idea.
That shit's going to look so fucking
You know,
when that
it looks crazy, man. I saw an older, like, white lady with a BBL last time I was in Atlanta. She had to be like early 50s, you know, and you see the silhouette from far away, and then she got close. I was like, dang, this is an older white woman with a BBL and a fake top. Like, okay, no, I can't do it.
And you start. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say the Miami Latinas are they're just as ratchet, but you can't go for the ratchet chicks, right? They all coagulate together. You know, you just got to find a real chick, and then it's not that hard.
Yeah, yeah. So you acknowledge that, so y'all can stop because in the chat they're like, man, they just bad at the black bitches. It's like bad. So he understands. Yeah. It took me a second to realize what the fuck y'all talking about with you YT. Y'all need to stop with all this. Damn, YouTube be on y'all ass that much. Y'all be talking in code now. What's up, King Sigma? Mr. Bottom Chef Brad himself.
Hey, what's good, Edward? Man, you got me laughing looking at that clip, man. I just wonder sometimes, like, are those women married that you showed in that clip?
No, hell no. Those are now light skinned. Keisha is a rapper.
Okay, so one of those chicks you said is a rapper. What about the other two? Who are they?
No, they're not married. They're not, like, they're both single. That's what they both said.
Are they all in their 30s? Are they in their 30s, 40s? What's their age?
They probably like,
yeah, I think they're in their 20s.
20, but I'd say like between 27 to 32.
Yeah, because they look like they're in their 30s to me. But I sometimes I do wonder, like, when these women sit around talking, you're listening, like, I got a problem with this level of.
I'll give you light skinned Keisha. I hate that name, but she was representing light skinned Keisha, the chick in the middle.
Okay, so wait. Light skinned Keisha was the one in the middle.
Yeah,
she didn't even look that light skinned.
I know.
Okay. I mean, but I guess that's the Tokyo Tony thing going on.
That's her name. Yeah, you know, we'll leave her alone because she was talking that real shit. She's 27. She's from Decatur, Georgia.
Well, I do wonder, man. Like, do these women listen to themselves, and do they have any men around? It does make you believe that these are women who the only time they're really seeing men is after midnight. Because when you listen to them talk, you're like, okay, this isn't a woman who's accustomed to being with any black man of any kind of stature or quality. I don't know black dudes that really got anything going for themselves that have a woman that they got on their arm that everything out of her mouth is nigga, 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 nigga. What kind of woman talks about a dude that she admires and respects like this? That's the part I don't understand. So they kind of telling themselves.
She look light skinned when you blaze that light on her. That's how they feel.
She's definitely not light skinned, but I mean, again, it's this delusion. So it's like, you know, you look at these women.
I will say this, King Sing. I ain't trying to cut you off, but being in Decatur, Georgia, I can see why a nigga like Fantastic would be like, yeah, she's light skinned. Yeah, I can see them. I can see why she got that name from them niggas. And
okay.
Now that I know where she's from, I get it. Yeah, them niggas, yes, she is. But go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's like, you know, and then you look at the whole thing. You got one chick, she's scratching her head the whole time because of the weave, and then you got another woman, she got like 17-inch nails, and I'm like. And then the next female, everything out of her mouth. I mean, it's like I see this trend of when these black women come on these social media platforms, they're so comfortable calling black men, supposedly, they're speaking about men that they're in a relationship with, maybe have kids with, talking about getting wifed up with. But even then, he's just a nigga. And it's disturbing to me at this point, man, that in 2021, when I listen to a lot of black women speak about black men, I can't tell the difference between their rhetoric and the Ku Klux Klan and David Duke anymore. There's no respect there, man. Even in the conversation about what a man is supposed to do and what a woman's to do, they still see that man as a nigga. No woman equality trying to get a quality man that got his stuff together is walking around. Just imagine, you bring this girl to one of your corporate occasions or whatever, like a party or something. Now imagine her at the punch bowl with the white secretary in the office that you work with, and she's like, "Oh, who are you here with?" "Oh, my nigga work here." Yo, nigga work here? Yeah, my nigga's over there, right there, the one that's in charge of accounting. Stop it, man. This is nonsense, bro.
Stop it. You only saying that because they're dark skinned.
No, I appreciate the
cut the cap. Like, King Sigma, do you know what a B? You know what a BD B is?
I mean,
a big dick baller, because that's the language they're using.
Yeah. Well, the white up here they call it. They just say BBC. You know what I'm saying?
No. The difference is you got to have a money and be able to fuck.
I mean, I'm fine with that, but again, when you talk about all these demands, that's what I'm trying to get at. I'm listening to these women talk. All I hear is demands. Guess what they don't got? They don't got a man around. Ain't no man staying around a woman like that. You got one woman talking about she's the national dick sucking champ of the Greek fraternity road. Ain't no one trying to wife a female like that. She's cool.
Hey, well, that's certified to at least get her rooming with somebody.
She's a nice side chick, a nice quality side chick.
At least she can answer, what do you bring to the table?
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a side chick. But what I'm saying is that why do we got to keep conflating the wifey status, side chick status, and the hoe that you meet every once in a while? Why?
Because they want it all to be the same.
Oh, it's never gonna happen, bro. It's just never gonna happen.
Well, in the black community, you know how it is.
But I mean, again, the numbers that we got from that census, isn't that telling enough? It's scary looking at the census data from the racial standpoint, man. I don't even want to read any more of it. Black men are more partnered than black women at this point. Black women, it was like unpartnered, like 65%, and black men was like 40%. They said in the census, unpartnered, and they even had the cohabitation stats in there this time. They didn't used to have all those cohabitation stats. We got the info on cohabitation now. So these women, at best, they'll be in a cohabitating relationship until the dude gets tired. I tried living with women before, but I don't think I can do it again, man. I don't think I can have a situation where I share an apartment with a woman again or share a house anymore, man. I like having my own space, and she keeps her own space now. And I like a woman like that says, hey, I'm a good side piece. You come when you want to come. I come when I want to come, and we go when we need to go. So I think that a lot of people are becoming more comfortable with that kind of arrangement. These women talking, you guys, I don't know where dudes is wifing up women like this, but it's damn sure not up here in the Midwest. Not like that.
No, they're not. It's got to be that way. Like the census numbers, it has to be that way. The only thing that will cause them to change are the consequences. That's it. I mean, until when the demographic or the cohort of black women dying alone is so big it can't be ignored, that's the only time it's going to change.
I don't know if that's true though, brother. Come on, golly, we're pushing almost 80%. I mean,
no. I don't mean that number specifically, but I mean in the broader culture that women are dying alone. I mean, they already are. We know it exists. Like we consistently know it exists, but it has not yet permeated the culture.
I don't know, bro. See, I think that you're optimistic, but I'm not. I think that a lot of women are comfortable with the fact that, hey, I'm going to run these streets until I'm 50, and I'll suffer the consequences of those last 20
Well, he ain't saying it's going to change, but he's saying that that's the only way that you may even see something be possible. Now, whether you think it's going to tip that way, one or the other, that's what we'll have to, time will tell. But I understand where you're coming from, Sigma. Like, I think a lot of these chicks, they that far gone. And at that point, a lot of these dudes are going to be just on another path. I'm sharing these pictures for y'all to see if she's worth simping she's worth being in a friend zone for 10 years, because that's what that nigga did.
I mean, you had BGS in that upload that he had where he was showing stats and he was showing that a lot of these black dudes that are going online, the results they're getting from the direct DM in these chicks of different groups, it's going up. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you look at that stat where it showed that black men are more partnered than them, even though we're a lower number in the population than them, and the behavior still continues. I don't know, man. I don't really see the idea of them being alone as being a barrier to stop them from doing what they're doing. Because again, remember, in the short term, until they hit, I guess 50, I guess that's the drop off where they start to get some sense is 50. I think a lot of them are willing to take that risk. They're like, hey, I'm going to run these streets until I'm 50, and then I'll just have to deal with the consequences at 50, I guess, and 60. They don't care. That's what I'm seeing out here.
It is at this point. It is what it is. Like, I'll entertain myself sometimes in Facebook, and these women. I mean, basically what it is, they're telling their own narrative story. And I'm like, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. And then you got dudes. I know that ain't you, Sigma, but you got dudes that they want to. They basically like these fucking puppy dogs and won't leave the captain about to down the Titanic. And I'm like, that's on y'all. And it's not even about divesting. People like, cause I'm where I am, where my motto is, go get you a good non-black man and go be happy. If you really think, cause I already know y'all capping when y'all say that shit.
Yeah, I like that saying. I like that saying that you got where you told them, you said, go find another store. I think that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, go get you a good. Why are you? Because there was one chick that was in Red Supreme's thing talking about, I don't see black men being worth marrying. I'm like, you say that, but you're in a chat full of black men. So I said, why are you not going dating? Indifference is the key. Why do you feel, because that's what it is, you want to be in proximation of men that you don't value enough to marry? See, that doesn't make sense. See, you can have that opinion. I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to argue that at all. Why are you even in approximation? That makes no sense to me. Because the truth is, y'all talk all that bullshit. Y'all don't really feel comfortable over there because y'all know what time it is over there. Y'all know what time it is over there.
Well,
like, whether it's white, Hispanic, whatever, even if it's African, you know what time it is. And dudes need to stop feeling the need to argue it and just start pushing them out. In fact, you push them out. You don't even let them explain. You say, no, I'm not, because I ain't shit and I'm always not gonna be shit. So you fucking with me, you always gonna fuck with me on Pookie terms. So if you want something, you better hobby your ass over there.
They talk all that, but again, going back to that upload what BJS put up, because I like that he put up the upload where he showed that the black female was saying how she likes dating these men of other races, right? So she's totally, she said, I'm unapologetically for dating men of other races, but I prefer black men, right? So they're letting it be known. So if black men are so bad and you have all these other options, you wouldn't be coming back to black men. See, that's the thing that's where they telling themselves. So they say, well, I got all these other options. I'm dating these other guys. They're so great. But then they end up getting dissed by the black dude too. So at what point do you say the problem has to be me? Because she's saying these different women, they always talking about this white guy they got, this Asian guy they got, the Latino guy that's so great. But then somehow the story always loops back to what a black man did to them. And you're like, okay, I heard what you said this black man did to you. He went on a dinner date with you and then ghosted you and made you pay for the bill. But what about all these other dudes that were so great that left you too? What did they do? What did that Latino man do to you? What did that white man do to you? What did the Asian man do to you? Because somehow
that's why, because see, all they're gonna do is bullshit. You know this, I know this, which is why you just answer when you need to deal with those dudes. That's really the best, because at this point it's about dudes. It's kind of like what Tariq Nasheed used to talk about, and he ain't the only one to say this, but it's significant about wasting time. He's time. White people with time wasting. You sitting there explaining white supremacy to white people like they act like they don't know. They always play stupid. That's what women do. So you just gotta tell them you might as well date out, go be great, because they got this narrative that black men are keeping them from dating out. We all know this is a lie.
This is beat, man.
But that's how you deal with that. And not only just that, but dudes will sit there and actually argue with these females like you changing shit. You're just giving them free attention.
That's all. Free attention. You're right.
And dudes fall into that habit because they think you can convince these chicks of shit. They're not dumb, they know. And so you tell them, okay, you're right, niggas ain't shit. Go date out. I mean, go date out. If you could do better, and see. Oh well, so you could do a bottom shelf brassy. I don't give a fuck about that because if y'all ignorance, that affects y'all. That don't affect us. That affects us as much as we fuck with y'all because niggas are out here believing that y'all ain't fucking with non-black men and then catching STDs. But yeah.
But see, that's why that report that came out from OkCupid. You know, it's so sad that OkCupid was forced to take that report down. Even they were all OkCupid and Tinder already told us in 2015. They said black women try to date out more than any other group on online dating, more than any other gender, more than any other race, and they do it with the least success than any other group. Yet they are the ones that are reaching out across the color line. But yet they'll come back to you telling you, well, black men are not worth marrying. But here they will find themselves around a group of black men talking about their problem. Why aren't you going to the white men to tell them about your problems with white men, or going to Latino men to tell about your problems with Latino? Why are you coming to black men to tell us your problems about all these other groups and your problems with black men? Why do they always end up back in our space?
They not because they understand that not there's punishment mechanisms for that, and they ain't gonna do nothing. They gonna tell them just leave, go back to where the niggers are.
I've been waiting to see. And I'm in the Midwest. You're from Chicago, but now you're in the South, and I'm wondering, do you see this? Because I haven't seen this yet. In the Midwest, I see a lot of black dudes that will be with like a white woman with her mulatto kids, or a black woman with her mulatto kids, right? But something I still have yet to see: a white man and a white woman walking with her mulatto kids by a black man.
They say that shit happens in like Seattle. They say
I just came back from Seattle. Seattle.
That's what they say. I didn't see it out there. But even still, white dudes have made it clear they'll be incels. A lot of them will be incels before they when they could deal with black women. So they already marked what they've marked. So,
but why don't they take back that white? What I'm saying is that, why is it that? Because I just got back from Seattle. Okay, I was out.
They don't because they are. I mean, we know why. It has to do with standards. I mean, my thing is all of the reasoning and understanding. We're past that. At the end of the day, like I said, as soon as these hoes start talking stupid, I just say, look, go find you a nice. And I'm dead at you. I'm not just saying that. I'm dead ass serious. More black men should say that, but a lot of black men be having this pro-black ego bullshit going on, like. And I don't give a fuck if these women do get non-black men, because we need to get the ones that ain't really on the team out of here anyway. like David Carroll said that. He said he ain't got no problem with black women dating out, but stop blaming black men.
But it's not.
Need to do it.
It's a delusion though. Like, I got back from Seattle and Portland about 2 weeks ago, and I took a lot of notes, and I'm gonna tell you right now, any black woman that you see that's from that area telling you, oh, it was popping like that in Seattle for me in Portland, she was nothing but a concubine. Because out there, I'm telling you straight out, the Asian women are running the yard in Seattle and Portland, bro. I'm telling you that straight out. I went to enough spots and I saw it in every spot. The Asian bras out there in the Pacific Northwest, they got it on lock. They got first rights of refusal on all of the top dudes out there. Trust me on this one.
You are not lying.
Yeah, well, I mean, we know they're lying, and the thing is, are you gonna play with their lies, or you just gonna call them on it? Because even if you play with their lies, that's validating them.
I'm just going to add them to the bottom shelf Brad series, because I know that they're going to be the next case. So I'll just let them keep talking.
So, I mean, and to be honest with you, I shout out to the bottom shelf Brad, but real talk. I mean, the only thing that helps is why that should be done is that serves other black men getting a better scope of the space. But to be honest with you, like, if women want to be deaf, dumb, and stupid, and they just want to run into this shit, like they want to run into oncoming traffic, because they want to be in the delusions. I'm about letting Darwinism do shit. Let them. It's like Final Destination, and it's not about being mad or angry. It's that folks only have one life to live. Folks are not and it's not. I see silence about everybody wanting to have a conversation. That's not what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about, it's one thing to have a conversation. There's another thing to sit there and go along with their bullshit narratives. I'm not doing that. And I know Gabe A keep talking about anecdotal evidence for the win. I mean, yeah, black women are doing great. Black women are doing great. None of this is true. So
Well, I don't know about no
everybody can just keep
anecdotal
on doing
evidence,
what they're
but I
doing.
can tell you that just sometimes you got to get on the ground and go see things for yourself.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. Black women are doing great. Black women are just as married as everybody else. So why talk about anything? Ain't nothing wrong. Black women are doing great. And I'm perfectly fine with them living in their delusion. And then they got to deal with fuck they got. Just like that Doctor Strange in that episode of What If. You want to live in, motherfuckers told him to go break the universe. The Watcher said, fuck it, go ahead. And then he want to look at, I know, like you were warned. I know, man.
If you think if you're a person that thinks it's anecdotal evidence, what I'm telling you, bro, I've been living in the Midwest all my life. I've lived on the East Coast, and I just came back from Pacific Northwest. I'm telling you straight out.
Gabe is trolling. Gabe just be doing.
Yo, any black woman that's coming from that area and she ain't an 8, 9, or 10. Now, if she's an 8, 9, or 10, she got a nice, comfortable concubine. But I'm telling you right now, the Asian broads got it locked, and it ain't just like the Asians that you probably think that come to mind. You know what stood out to me about the Pacific Northwest? I've never seen so many good-looking women from India before. The nation of India. It's a lot of them out there. A lot of Indians out there, a lot of Asians and Japanese. And I'm telling you, bro, you go over there to like where Microsoft and all of those tech companies are, you will see the white dudes coming out with the stroller with their little Asian and white kids. And now the white dude looks like straight soy. And the female is the Asian chick, bad. Because I remember being in downtown Seattle by that Macy's, right? And it just shook me because out of this corporate building, white dude came out with his little suit on, but he got that little, effete kind of look. But he had the coldest Asian chick, and they was pushing a little stroller, and she was fit, fine, and everything. And that's all I saw the whole time I was there, bro.
Yeah, because like when you see shit like that, that's economics going on. That's what that is. Them motherfuckers in tech. That motherfucker got probably a certain type of job. I mean, that's what that shit is.
And they're marrying up. The Asian chicks are marrying.
Yeah, because that's what they're doing. Yes. Yeah, they don't, and they're not taught to marry just for looks either.
And I didn't make it to Vancouver because Canada wasn't letting us.
But they got money in Vancouver.
Oh, bro, that's where I wanted to go to Vancouver while I was out there, but I'm gonna go back probably in a couple months. But I was really, because everyone I talked to there, they was like, "You would like it over in Vancouver. You should go check out Vancouver when it opens." But it was closed while I was there. But I'm hearing the same thing in Vancouver. So this idea that black chicks is killing out there, stop it, bro. The West Coast, I don't believe, and the Latinas, it was a lot of Latinas out there that I didn't expect to see so many Latin people, specifically in Portland. They had a whole Mexican neighborhood over in Northeast Portland. I'm like, they got all these Latinos out here.
Well, so, in Asian culture, like they're brought up to like kind of revere white people, white men.
Yeah, so that's another thing going on too.
Yeah, yep. They can get an average one, he'd be good. But the fact that they can get somebody with some bread, then that just sweetens the deal for them, and it's a good social status one up for them. So that plays a big part about it. In terms of like the black women, I look at them like how Aquaman was holding back the tide in that Justice League movie when they was down in the tunnels. It's like you could hold the ground, but actually a couple of moments later, it's better that you step back. And what I always tell dudes to do, like even today, I was talking to 2 women internationally, one Dominican, the other one from Colombia, actually Cali, because I'm trying to get into the Cali market right now. But somehow I lucked up and I spoke to this lady. She was a lawyer. She's 26 years old, single, no kids. She literally spoke to me, not on the phone, but through Instagram for about 6 hours, free consultation. Now, you try to reverse engineer that back into the U.S. is a black woman who doesn't know you, you're not paying. Is she going to give you the time of day on anything in terms of helping you level out to a different experience outside the country? I don't see it happening. And like in those little interactions right there, is because what's going to happen is basically what's coming down the pipe between the economy about to shut down, the COVID thing, because that basically shut down all these easy jobs the women had. What's basically coming down the pipe is going to be like what's that called? I know you noticed that with it. It's like government basic pay, where they pay everybody a low amount just to survive.
Talking about UBI?
I don't know what it's called. I don't know.
I thought the UBI thing was going to happen, but I don't think so, because again, remember all of those protections that they passed last March for the COVID pandemic. Everyone was thinking that, they're going to extend all these programs. They're going to extend the eviction moratorium. They're going to extend the UI benefits. Bro, Biden was like, nah, that was temporary.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, no, I hear you, and I don't know either way. So
well, but it's been cut for like 30 days. Usually, when usually we've seen in the past, if they stop after a month, the government has never went back and then restarted it. So when Biden said that back in August, he meant it
but they also got that child bullshit going on.
Now they do still got the child tax credits for like the mothers or whatever. But I'm talking about like the other programs like the eviction moratorium, unemployment, all of that stuff has been cut, and it's not coming back.
No, it will see. I don't know if they're gonna let them I don't know. I mean, the point is they gonna be fucked no matter what.
That basically what's gonna happen in terms of now whatever happens with them, I'm not even really paying too much attention to because I know something's coming down the pipe eventually. But what I always preach is whatever financial status that you're at, you gotta get to a level where you can kind of dictate positions in life, because if you're stuck financially where you are and you're stuck in a neighborhood and you're stuck dealing with these type of women, then when shit crumbles, it's going to crumble in on you. But if you're go ahead.
Well, the thing is that's always been, but that's always been true.
Yeah, but I just think dudes is a little bit too relaxed right now because it's a real comfortable time. Everybody's getting, easy money. Everybody who's living now never really experienced like no hardship shit. It's like every 4 or 5 years, there's a stock going down, but that never really affected people in a way where like 30, 40 years ago, some shit went down. But what I'm saying is dudes really need to start, progressing themselves financially, because basically when the shit hit the fan, if you don't have no type of cushion, because the females, they don't got no cushion. They don't have nothing, but they're living off of, go ahead.
The niggas that already are hearing that kind of already hear that. The niggas that don't give a fuck, they don't give a fuck. And it's still good to say because you kind of need to remind folks in case stuff don't look like it's making sense and they're kind of in that tunnel, and you need to kind of encourage them to come out of the tunnel, to keep pushing. So that's the value of that. But the thing is, the way when you actually listen to what these motherfuckers believe when it comes to political, you start talking about UBI, these niggas gonna start saying you a communist. They're not even about arguing like if it's gonna happen or not gonna happen, because those are both valid, what both of you are saying. But just even speaking that, black people get magical. Like, why are you speaking this into existence and all this other bullshit? I'll drop the link for the Discord group. That's what it is. I mean, niggas are still on this. Any black man is rich, sacrifice their baby somewhere. This is black men are on that. Not black women are not even. Black women got their own delusions, but that's the delusion black men mainly be having is that bullshit. And black female delusions is thinking that blaming black men is gonna mean some shit. Because when you hear us talk in the manosphere, well, a lot of women don't understand when they just say we're quote unquote blaming. What we're doing is, number one, telling dudes how it is out here, and number two, what we're also saying is we're letting women know that so when motherfuckers really bounce out, you can't say niggas just did it because you dark or some bullshit like that.
They still
we got 10 years of documentation, even with the motherfuckers that they dipping on black women, they don't know why. Because they don't listen to the manosphere, because that's happening. All these Z's, they don't listen to us. They see what the fuckery, and they see if how light skinned Keisha was talking, if that was like the average, it wouldn't be as bad.
Because like I said it before, like out in the real world, outside of whatever boroughs these women come from, the way life moves is totally different. Like they thinking, I guess the way it moves for black women is totally different because they think they have a say in shit. They think what they say matters. Like when you go over to like obviously different countries to have different patriarchies, none of that shit flies. This whole umbrella protection of the U.S. can't hit a woman. This shit don't fly. I remember when I went to Germany when the whole Trump got elected, and obviously they knew I was American. It was like, what's up with your women? It wasn't even talking about Trump. What's up with your women? Like, this is in the height of the whole Me Too and all this bullshit, because in these other countries, they don't have these issues. Now, I do understand what, you would probably say is a lot of gynocracy and the government protection. I get that. But what I'm saying is they look at us weird in terms of men. You know what I'm saying? They look
Well,
at
they can look at it. I'd say you stay your ass over here long enough, and you try the shit you try and see what happens. They'll get their guy. We'll call that a gynocentric wake up call. They'll get the wake up call. I mean, you just stay here long enough, you'll figure it out.
See, everyone talks about the simp thing, but I something that you guys got to look at with that 2020 census that stood out to me was the fact that you had 54% of black men that were unpartnered, but you had close to 70% of black women that were unpartnered as well. To me, that's telling you that the simp game is drying up for these women because there's an over surplus of
like
black women that's available
simps
on the market. They're
like
out
the
there.
high quality simps, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
even with that weird shit though, like that shit gets on my nerves because I've told you, I say honestly, dude, I could explain it, but you're not gonna understand. It ain't even no point in even saying it, like because people be talking about. Like if they look at us, because I'm gonna tell you why. I've seen this with Africans, where Africans will talk this shit, and then they get with and these dumbass niggas, they dumbasses will get with like a black female that's 27 when they're like 22, and they're like an engineer, and it's like, why did you do that? And then they'll be like, they'll literally, I don't know, cause they don't understand. They really think they manhood is gonna bring that bitch to heel. And some of these motherfuckers, some of these Europeans be thinking the same thing with these white women here. They think, and it's like, yo, it ain't just us. Take your ass to Canada. They worse. So you don't have to understand. Yeah, you really don't, because you ain't been here. You don't know. It's just like French people eat horse. I don't need to understand why the fuck they do that. Like for real, that's what it is. China lets kids smoke cigarettes at 12.
See, I'm just saying that like that stat though, bro. Like, I don't see enough investigation. No one's asking.
I mean, all the stats say is we're fucked. The end. So I get it.
I'm just saying that like that's a big statement coming from black men, because if there's that much of a surplus of these black women out there, and black men, more and more black men are saying
it's worse. Black women are having more kids than black men because they're getting kids from bottom shelf brads out of BGS had that stat out of they like 1 million. Like, yeah, so they can't even get enough kids out of a lot of these dudes. This is why they not getting child support like that. That's why they got this get the bag bullshit, because they really think they not trying hard enough.
That's a good point you just brought up, Edward. I'm glad you brought that up. Like what you said about the child support, because that's drying up too. Because when you look at that stat of so many single black men can't pay child support if you don't have any children. So that game is starting to, because you have more child.
It's also a way of population control. That shit is almost as devastating as abortion.
Yeah,
so when
I was going to say Project Pookie's not going to be able to afford child support.
That's why they don't care. They just say, I just get bitch number 4, 5, 6. They do the Nick Cannon plan.
Nick Cannon said he ain't having sex no more after the last kid.
Man, he lying. That nigga got a harem. That nigga created his own harem and wilding out.
And you see the women ain't tripping off of it, are they?
Not at all. It's the money factor. Like behind the scenes, he was probably nailing all them chicks. He just probably didn't get them pregnant.
And that's another part of the game.
He absolutely was. And he absolutely was. Because all of them ain't comedians. All of them ain't talented like that. Like there's a lot of them on there. Like if you look at them, they got like 1 million. They all got like 1 million subscribers. And it is what it is. I mean, you see what these women say. When they get in front of a dude, and let's be clear here, black women always trying to front. If you get in front of a dude that got the kind of money that can change your life, they healing. They not getting stupid. Now they may still think he a sucker, but they gonna give it up, because the reality is they not having access to dudes like that. Not like that. I'm not even talking about Nick Cannon. I'm just talking about somebody that can like a 7-figure earner. So somebody that's making like $100,000 a month. Which yes, that's rare, but I know a couple of women that do that, depending on what you doing. So when women make it like they got general access to dudes that they be really making serious bank.
They
straight. I mean, even Jason Black used to call that out. Most of these women barely be dealing with dudes. They be making 6 figures like that.
But notice in that clip that you showed, all of those women, you said they were unwed, but none of these women ever admit to being side chicks to married men. A lot of these women,
one did say that every half the people in my DMs are married dudes, and that's why they think all dudes cheat.
but she didn't say that half of the men that I was practicing the head skills on was married. She didn't say that though. She said in my DMs. She didn't see between her thighs.
Black. It's well known.
She ain't gonna say that.
It's well known that a lot of black women, they like married dudes because they like married dudes. Like that's something that the sisterhood kind of needs to be honest with themselves about, because that really goes against the sister code. So let me share. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all check out Gold Professor. I'm about to drop his link. We're gonna link bomb. So subscribe, bomb his stuff. Absolutely, he's definitely been a supporter of the channel, and he's been definitely keeping it real on all the different panels he's on. We need more people like that for real. And I'm gonna definitely check your stuff out. Answer your question, like you were saying. I know Use is familiar for the $5 super chat, and we're about to wrap this up. Sigma ain't lying. He lives in Washington. I know more white men with Asian women. He said, then white men with white women. I mean, I could believe it. I mean, Cynthia G is out of that zone. So, I say the city, she gonna turn around and talk about somebody trying to stalk her. But yeah, and her whole family, like, please. These black, that's actually, I would argue, like the worst region for black women to be in is Washington, the Pacific Northwest.
But then again though, bro, Ed, what's left though? Because again, the Midwest, all the sisters I know out here, they're leaving. They tell me, I talk to enough black women out here, they tell me straight out, like, it's hard for a black woman out here. So they're going south. Now I've been to the Pacific Northwest, I see what's going on. I talked to cats out in like Vegas and Cali, and they say that the Latinas got it locked on out there, like Phoenix, Vegas, Cali. So ultimately, you only talking about a very small area where black women can still compete, I guess. So
I forgot. I got new niggas on here. I got new people. Y'all don't know about King Sigma, man. Y'all see Sigma been on a hiatus because he, unlike us, he got real shit to do. So he be going on. So let me link y'all down here. Check out his Bottom Shelf Brad series. Y'all like it. I got people
wait to check Vegas and Phoenix,
on
bro.
the lower right. Who the nigga on the lower right?
I'm looking forward to that trip out there to Phoenix, Denver, and Vegas. Oh, I can't wait for that trip, bro. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, Phoenix is the 5th largest city now. It passed Philadelphia.
Oh, they passed Philly?
Yeah, it passed Philly a while ago because it's getting all that spillover from California. People tired of paying that fucking money. Like Archer and them say, you want the white bitches, Shout out to Arizona, Kirsten Cinema.
I feel like for me, like I think San Diego, that's kind of like that North Star for me right now. Like, because I've lived in San Diego before, it has a good mixture of the things I like. But I have been hearing a lot of good words from folks out here about Phoenix too, though.
Scottsdale is legit. Now, if I had to move out west, it'd be Scottsdale.
Yeah, I've heard good thing. Yeah, Scottsdale pretty much. I mean, Scottsdale is Phoenix. I mean, it's a suburb right there. Yeah.
Now the question I was going to ask is without any Jedi training, why do you think the Zillennials are just moving in the other direction? No training, no crash course.
Because they get a heavy dose, because they get black female fuckery raw. See, the thing is about us, I'm 34, be 35 in like 4 weeks. We still had the love songs with, black women somewhat saying, they still fuck with every once in a while. And you still have like UPN, shit like that. One-on-one shit like that. The Zillennials don't got none of that shit. They grew up in the 2010s. They grew up with the stripper culture, the horror culture, all that in hip hop, all that in the media, Real Housewives or whatever, bitch, all that is. So that's all they saw. That's all they saw. And the older women started to die out as far as the last vestige of women that had some goddamn sense. So all they saw was black female fuckery. They have been over radiated with black female fuckery. So they don't need to get on YouTube to understand. And then another thing too is they've also been taught they have not been really, we're the last generation that's really had some pro-black shit in us like that. Like where you have a guilt to stand. And you saw the transition between older millennials to younger millennials as how's that wane. So the Z's, they don't have that. And shit has been a lot more mixed up, a lot more liberal as far as the dating market. So all these factors, especially gentrification, that's another thing too. So stuff is mixed up a lot more than it used to. All these factors, yeah, that leads you to what it is, man. nonsense with it. That's why they
Yes.
don't need no Jedi training.
Hey, have any of y'all read the Fourth Turning?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. I'm in the middle of it now, and what you're talking about, Ed? That's why I think America's going to change a lot because a lot of us Gen Xers got raised in the suburbs, and then we raised our kids in the suburbs, and then they're going to start having kids that are not associated, like you just said. That whole like we and us demographic that the boomers have, like it was all we. Like that's going to change.
Yeah,
That
it
is.
is. And,
Yeah, yeah, it's way worse than a lot of the boomers are even willing to admit. But then when you actually have real discussions with a lot of the boomer type of guys, though, you'll find out if they got sons, if they got black sons, they'll tell you the scoop, bro. A lot of them, even their own sons, is choosing something different. Just and I know that these women want to make it about their color and all that, but I'm telling you the truth. That is not the main reason that most black men are going for those kind of women. The most dudes that go for women is just because those women treat them good. That's it. They treat them nice and they're attractive to them.
And they have the option. They have the option. They're raised in the suburbs, and they might not even see a black girl. You know what I mean? And then when the thing is, when it's only a few black people in an area, you might not even like that black girl. She's not your cup of tea, but you got 90% that are non-black, so you find your cup of tea somewhere in there.
Yeah, and a couple of things too, as well, because I know CJM talking about the millennials aren't that pro-black. No, they're not. But a lot of it is they're not so pro-black where they're gonna lie to you, like other generations was willing to lie to us to try to keep the rate. They're not doing that.
Depends on what you call pro-black, though. So let's look at it from this standpoint, though. It was the Z's that were behind a lot of the protesting against, violence against black men and things like that. So I can't make that argument because, again, there's a different kind of pro-black.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about in the way he understands it and like what he was saying.
I'm a Frederick Douglass pro-black.
So
you know what that means? I think a lot of Z's, a lot of millennials, they're more like a Frederick Douglass kind of pro-black. Meaning
the guy now, yeah. So trying to think.
I know what you're talking about. You're saying that they're the black woman first pro-blacks. No, I'm not a black woman first pro-black. I'm a Frederick Douglass pro-black.
Oh yeah,
because Frederick Douglass, he was about getting the full usage of his constitutional rights in the United States. He dated black women, he married black women, and he banged white women when he wanted to because he's a man. He's an American man with the option to do so. But he was all about uplifting black people through giving them full access to America. So if you mean pro-black in that sense of constitutional rights, that all black people should get the same rights as everyone else, then I'm a pro-black. But if you mean black matriarchy first, hell no. Let that whole thing burn down.
Yeah, and Xanatos Clutch shout out for the $5 says out west white men are too busy with Asian women and Latin women, the white Latin women in particular to care about black men getting with non-black women. The only exception are ironically in the liberal LA and the Bay Area.
Xanatos is 100% right because I'm telling you, I didn't believe it until I just went out there. Being out there, I was like, it was just like, man, the women, they just fall in your lap. If you're a black dude and you just a decent looking guy and you just go, just come to the restaurants out there, some of the clubs and things, and you get a nice hotel room, you go around, it's going to just fall in your lap out there, bro. And the white dudes, they, like he just said, these dudes is out there chasing Asian women, bro. I saw with my own eyes.
So what's happened is it created a secondary market where I akin it to like the the Blade movies where you have like I look at the new white women, some Latinas, as like the new daywalkers, like all the benefits and none of the subtractors, right? So now what you're seeing, literally, these white women are building asses in the gym. They're working on their femininity because they automatically come from a patriarchal system that kind of respects the man. So you create these like super beings. So now when you get bit by one of them and you turn, and especially if you get bit and you turn outside the country where there's no detractors in terms of stealing your money, in terms of you marry one, we take your pension, all this and that. Yeah, it's basically you ever see like that the Marvel the zombie thing where everybody in the world within 5 days.
What if?
It's basically like the what if the nigga version. So now everybody's getting slowly turned, and so like that's what we literally see before our eyes, but we don't see the turn. Well, I won't even say the black women don't see the turn until it's too late. That's why whenever you come in the building with I don't know if you guys date white women, Latinas, whatever, but I'm just saying, like, if you come in the building And see, what they'll always try to throw up if you come in the building with like a white girl, oh, she don't have nobody, oh, she this, she that. But if you come in and she know how to dress, she got a nice body, she's feminine, all that hair is hers, or if she got extension, it represents her hair anyway. Yo, these black women don't know how to act. Like, I don't know if you ever experienced shit like that. They literally, like, they start sweating, the weave starts spilling out.
Yep.
You know,
it's that dynamic of when, like, the dude they look past, the computer guy who ends up with 6 figures, and then he gets a non-black woman that puts them to shame, then it's a problem.
Yeah, and again and the thing is, people be like, oh, well, you're bashing. No, bitch, it's not my fault. You in your fucking feelings about shit. Like, who you need to be mad at is your fucking mama, because she didn't need no man to game your ass up. And see, this is shout out to Xanatos, man. Xanatos is another one. Y'all be forgetting, Xanatos and Xanatos and King Simmons, y'all used to seeing everybody over and over and over again. The new breed, y'all forget about the old mid-tier folks, but whatever. Xanatos about, this is why I call most of the West the SYSBM Confederacy.
He's right about that, bro. Like, I'm telling you, I can't give you 100% of what he's giving you, but I guarantee you, once I go to Denver and Phoenix and Vegas, I know that it's going to be pretty much what I already saw. I'm telling you, whoever's telling these women this lie, that black women is running it out there, they're lying to them. I saw it. I went to a club called I was at the Hyatt Hotel in downtown Portland. There was this club around the corner. What's that damn area called? Pearl District or something. And I went to a club called Two Prongs or something. And all over, it was just women of all kind of different races. But you guess what? The black woman I saw in there was just like out here. I met a couple women that was from East Africa at this spot. Bad. They were better than all the Asian women in the club. Better than all the white women in the club. And that's another group of women that a lot of these chicks are sleeping on as competition. A lot of these black females coming from outside of America, they bringing a different package out here, bro. They can compete with these Asian women. They can surpass these white women in terms of body, intellect, and the vibe that they give off. Because again, all these women, when you talk to them, they uphold their father. See, everyone gets so caught up in the colorist game. I'm telling you, the major factor that I see that determines what makes a woman quality from my experience is her relationship with her father, her respect for men. That becomes like the foundation of so much of her interaction with other men. And these African women, they will talk to you about their father. Oh, I was just at my father's birthday. I got him this. They'll be talking to you about it.
Yeah, but dudes are out here believing that don't matter because my manhood is just gonna overwhelm this chick. And that's what the gynocracy teaches you. And that's why dudes go where they go. And as far as another thing people want to say is, oh, well, black men are not getting access to these women. The reality is, if you can compete with them from a class standpoint and upwardly mobile standpoint, you in there. Don't believe. See, if you thinking you gonna go up in there with game, you may win as far as sexual access sometimes. But if you going in there with like you got pedigrees and stuff, and when I say pedigrees, it could be economics. You're not. Yeah, even if it's true that a lot of these women are taught that white is taught, because they are taught to make a lot of assumptions. Now, understand something. Most of these women, these top pedigree women, they're not going for like broke white people. Like, they're not doing, and I'm gonna tell you, Indian women don't be doing that. They'll be going for broke white dudes. Not seriously. That is not what they're taught. That's some shit. Now, you may see Latin women pull that shit, and even then, the better looking Latin women are not as much gonna pull that. But economics matters, and I'm not saying looks don't. But in our community, the economics don't matter because these women act, and I'm not saying other women don't do it, because Latin women are bad about that too, trying to do the dual mating strategy where they try to do the alpha bucks, beta bucks. But other women kind of have an understanding that most of the dudes that they dealing with aren't gonna fall for that. Not too much. Because they'll just, move on to the next one. Now, there's obviously goofy dudes everywhere, like it is anywhere. And I'm not trying to say there's no problems. The thing is, this is not to say that black community is just completely fucked. It's just say the stuff is so extreme at this point, and then folks are just gonna look at it and then act like ain't nothing happening. It gets to the point where it's like, okay, if that's what you need to do to cope.
Well, they can continue to do that, but again,
that's a coping mechanism.
Like, you use the term class, and in sociology they call it assortative mating, right? when you deal with people that have a very similar educational background as you, economic background, academic background, or whatnot. And I think that type of mating is where we're at with black men that we're talking about. So anyone trying to make it about race, they're wrong, bro. And I could just use myself as an example, because when I see a beautiful woman, I don't care what her race is or nationality or religion. I'm reacting off of her beauty and how she reacts towards me. That's all that matters to me. And most dudes are like that, but they just won't admit it because
but this is and
they want to play. They want to play both sides, because the way that they see it is like what they want to do when they're in public. They're going to play the pro-black card. But what you find when you investigate into a lot of these so-called pro-black lifestyles, they're laying up with white women. They're chasing after Latinas. They're chasing after Asian women because they always get exposed for having kids with white women, being married to white women.
They play the "I'm only sexually attracted to black women."
It's a complete lie.
And these niggas, and I look, I could believe certain dudes, you know, but a lot of them dudes are lying, because I know motherfuckers. It's always that disclaimer of, you know, yeah, because you know I'm only attracted to black women. I'm like, I'm not even. Here's the thing, dudes are not looking to run the other races, but there's only so much dudes are gonna tolerate, and some dudes are that fucking stupid. Like, dude, this is what, you know, Obsidian said something. I remember I asked him directly, why don't you date other races of women? He said, because he don't want to. Now, this is somebody that says Philly is one of the worst dating markets out there. Most of these women out here are homeland of Philly. And that's pretty well known and agreed upon by even a lot of dudes. My thing is, and B just did that video comparing Steph Co to Obsidian, about like Obsidian saying, I didn't get married, and he said it too, and he agreed. He sent an email to me agreeing with it. He said, I didn't get married because the women I wanted didn't want me, and I didn't want the women that wanted me. And the thing is, the difference is they want people like Obsidian to die on that hill, saying,
and that's why I call him the last black man in America.
And other motherfuckers are not doing that.
That's
other
why
motherfuckers are not doing that.
And when I've had conversations with Obsidian about that, that's why I gave him that term, the last black man in America. Because I've understood by talking to men like him, the over 50 guys, this is a generational thing. They're that last baton that was handed to them from the civil rights generation. But when you talk to guys that are like under 45, especially under 35, you get a whole different dynamic. And I'm talking about, bro, sometimes when I'm driving, I got a gym that I go to with my membership that's near the University of Minnesota, right? And what shocks me, because when I was there, you know, you had a lot of black dudes that were dating white women, but you know what I saw now in this last 2 years? The amount of black young dudes that are like under 23 that I see walking hand in hand with Asian women. I had never even seen this, but now when you go on these college campuses, the brothers that are there, you see a lot of them linked up with Asian women. And I didn't even see that even just 10 years ago when I was on the campus. So, I mean, I'm telling you, bro, it's a lot of talk in these bubbles. But if you're out there in the field and you're traveling around the country, let alone crossing borders, you're seeing a whole different dynamic going on.
Yeah, and the first thing the motherfuckers want to look at is they want to be like, oh, you're bashing black women. It's like, no, motherfuckers are really trying to let you know, wake your ass up. But at the end of the day, not bad for God, motherfuckers just want to protect the delusion, and it's like, look, ain't nobody playing with y'all, and this is why I was trying to tell Courtney from the LaPeep show. I said, y'all sense of urgency. See, what you think is going to be some magical Candyland bullshit where everybody just has some Treaty of Versailles and they just decide to reset everything. That's not happening, because the fucking the young Negro, like the Z's, are going to take over the dating market in about 6 or 7 years. Like, really 6. They'll take really 5. They're going to pretty much control the prime dating market in the 20s. About
what's the oldest Z right now?
24.
Okay, yeah. So they're about to enter that prime dating market next year. So it's
about 6. Yeah, in the 30s. And at that point, it's over, because you can't. See, the problem is women believe they can dial shit back. Once the imprint, and see, we used to talk about this with Chrissy and SWP. You know how you talk about you got to get the boys imprinted in their teens. That's where you really got to get them. You got to be, this is probably one of the more significant things that's how he said. You got to be that bitch on the wall, on the poster. That's what you got to be. But that's the image that hold on, I'm just saying. And that time is way past, because the older Z's are 24.
But so hold on, though,
we're like 7, 8 years too late on that.
But I got a question for you then, okay? Because everything you said is true. But here's my thing that always gets me about that. Now, we know that in 2021, 8 out of 10 black children are raised by a single mother. See, that to me is a damning truth that black men are being raised by black women. So they spend 18 years of their life under the rule.
That don't matter because black women.
But I'm just saying that. But I'm saying because
I know where you're going. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that that's a damning statement because these black men have this black woman to look up to and to see how she moves, to see how the people that she surrounds herself move. So they have home field advantage. A lot of black women, I can give them this. A lot of them are not growing up with a black male father figure in their life. So they're just getting the perspective of their mother and the men running in and out of her house. But that black boy, he's there with his mother.
Well, because she got to occupy that masculine energy, and that's what turns him off. Because you don't see one mother as a feminine figure. That's what that is. So shout out to J Will 28. All options on the table. Black men should go where they're appreciated. Limiting your dating market is crazy, which is why I tell black women they need to go be great. Shout out for the $5. Shout out to 504 Holy Grove 17 Ward. Xanatos Clutch sounds like a racist white woman if ever I heard. Wow, like so I see what you want. Xanatos is that is not who Xanatos is, but y'all don't want to hear it. Anyway, I'm waiting for you. I see you here, so shit. You said that you had some notes you wanted to give me on the Lapeef show, and I did this whole stream waiting for you. So I mean, you want to come up? If not, I'm about to end this shit.
But I think it's gonna be more discussion about that in the future though, because black women have to do some self-surveying. They have to really ask themselves, okay, we're raising all these black boys. We have complete home field advantage. And yet our sons are saying, you know what? I've seen enough of this feminine product. I'm going somewhere else. I got to go find another one. That in itself, to me, is the best representation of what kind of mothers that they are. Because again, they have complete home field advantage, domination of their households, and those black boys are still saying, I've seen enough of this. Let me go find something different. Let's go find someone that was raised by their father. Let's go find someone that has a good relationship with their father, because they've seen enough.
But you're making, like, by the time they do that, the shit is gonna be so far in the rear view mirror, like they're not even gonna see it. Like that's not how they think, because they would have been thinking that way. Like at the end of the day, they only know two gears. And it's very obvious. I mean, the stuff is out here, and delusion is one. I mean, it is. It is what it is, but it is. So let's see what is he saying, because like 504 said, we'll bring your. Yeah, I'm not even. This wasn't even about putting you on blast. I was actually genuinely curious. I asked you to put it in the chat, and you said you need to do. You needed for me to do a panel. I know you didn't think I'd open one up, but I'm curious to see what you gotta say. Said 80 women is only choice. He said that. O'Shea said that too. No matter what, yeah, absolutely, that's their choice. So they have a right to make it. But most people are not going to make that.
But
choice.
Why doesn't anyone ever ask? When everyone they'll say like, "Well, such and such person said this only 8 hours for them." So what? My dick don't care what so and so said.
Well, no, they're just pointing that out there. I mean, but we know. The thing is, you're not like we've passed the territory where you're not going to be able to make that sell. That sell is not going to be able to be made no more.
But why is it that men are but here's again, isn't the biggest seller of a great product supposed to be the women themselves? No one has to sell a straight man on a good woman. A good woman sells herself by her behavior.
And who is the worst? Who is the worst? Who damages the PR of black women more than any other group?
You said what?
Who damages the image of black women more than any other group?
Oh, you already know it. You already
exactly.
know that.
So they supposed to be your greatest salesman. It's the opposite. Women, and they don't even separate. Women will circle the wagons around other women. Even if you're a swirler, you have an invested interest of black women's image being solid. But what happens? They circle the wagons around the bullshit. And so, and you don't gotta like black men to do that.
Bro, I'm sick and tired of hearing about all these dudes talking about the single mother thing, but they ain't marrying them. Bro, we're in 2021, right? The state of Utah, now they can do polygamy out there. You have many states telling men that they got to let a woman have an extra man in a relationship. If these dudes care so much about single mothers, why aren't you getting together with that voting block? You have come
on, that's the brother.
No. I'm dead serious. If you have a voting block of women that have power, they do have voting power, and you guys care so much, Why don't y'all start wifing up 2 or 3 of these women? No, I'm not gonna stop you. I don't
Young
think
Pharaoh
someone's gonna stop you.
tried, but what happens? I mean, because they know what. I mean, we all know, and this is why I get annoyed with talking to certain people because it's like whenever you get like directly to shit. That's why, like I said, I wanted 504 to come up because he talking about my assessment of Lapeef. The Lapeef is exactly like this. I mean, those last 2 videos that they posted with Crimson Cure and K says it all. It says it all, man. And K is a teacher. K's teaching the next generation. So that should tell you all you need to know. Like, and even if you go to somebody like Jason Black who tries to say we're losers and all of this, that don't matter because Jason Black saying shit worse than us a lot of times.
But
death
how
of
many
black
wives does he
motherhood.
have? How many wives does Jason Black
It
have?
don't even matter if they went like he got half of his audience is women. So the point is he ain't even giving them better. He ain't
All
even
these
giving them
dudes be
better
taking
options.
so hard, but if it was so great, they would have that. No, not just any black woman. Because here's my thing: I come in contact with so many intelligent black men in the space. Right? They're successful. They're intelligent. So to me, my thought is that if you really are that committed, you're supposed to be getting the best black women, the most sexually competitive black women that this market has to offer. Because you're such a great man, you should attract the most attractive, the most feminine, and the most cooperative black women within the environment. So the question becomes, why aren't you putting no rings on these great women's hands?
Well, they know. So shout out to JC $9 says my wife is Puerto Rican. They just like black women. Well, Puerto Rican don't really count because they half of them are black anyway. So Puerto Rican and Dominican really don't count. It really doesn't.
What AOC head game looking like?
But anyway, what were you gonna say? And then we about to get last thoughts.
Yeah, it's my Niggadominus prediction because it would take 50 years of new black exploitation movies. We would have to have a new Pam Grier. There would have to be a total rewrite, a reset of this variant timeline, basically. So
that ain't happening.
That I was about to say that ain't happening. So all the 300-pound sham quiches, once those
sham wow.
Once those BBLs bottom out in another 5 to 7 years and they can't afford to go back to DR to repair it, what you're going to see is basically like a free for all. It's going to be like Mad Max in the streets. It's going to be why y'all leaving because the millennials not having it. They're out. Dudes like me, I've figured out either Medellin or Cali. I'm going to
get with the old niggas.
I mean, the old. See, the thing about what annoys me about Obsidian sometimes because he talks from a very narrow world point view. I mean, if you're only talking about your block in Philly, you never traveled out, you never talked to any other women, I feel like you have a limited scope on what is actually happening in reality.
Obsidian went to Colombia, if somebody like chaperoned his ass, y'all would fuck the game up.
Man, if I showed you what I was just dealing with today, like this is what how to explain this? Like if you put the value to it, like, all right, $50,000 is the median income. Let's just make it simple. You take that money and go to some of these other countries. Now, see, what you don't have to worry about, you don't have to worry about heightism. I mean, all around the world, women do like tall men, but realistically, when it comes down to it, they don't really care. As long as you can kind of take care of them. You don't have to drive a 6 Series Benz. You don't have to be Alpha Super Omega Mighty Morphin Power nigga. Like you can actually be a normal person and still get with the baddest of that culture. Because why do I say that? I'm not even saying because I do it. When I go down to these places, I see dudes that are making the equivalent of $350 a month with a bad bitch and probably cheating with some other bad bitches. So I feel like if a guy like Obsidian, and I even told him one time, I was like, listen, I'll pay for your flight. I'll send you there. I'll tell you where to go. I'll even link with you some women if you need. Like, you need to get out of this sit down kumbaya. We're all gonna come like Indians, and we're gonna sit at the round table like Knights of the Old Round Table. This is not gonna happen, because the old bitches, they dying out. The new sham quiches that are coming up, they're gonna be Lizzos, and that's just gonna play out how it's gonna play. The daywalkers are gonna take over, terraform the whole earth, and then black women are gonna be sitting there holding the Twinkies in their hand, talking about it's because we dark skinned.
Yeah, and and what's funny, this is how crazy shit is. The other day we were doing a thing, we were talking about height, and then I asked these dudes, what do they think the average NFL height is, the average NBA height is, and I asked them what do they think I asked what they think the average height is. These niggas talking about like 6 foot, 6'2", and I said the average NFL height is 6'2". The average, these are dudes in this chat. The average NBA height is 6'6". So y'all walking around here thinking that the average nigga is that of NFL and slightly shorter than NBA players.
But these are the same that said
no, these are dudes
makes 100K.
But then no, these are the dudes that
the
said
dudes.
that in my chat, which are more enlightened than others. And a lot of these dudes are like 6 foot, 6'2".
Wait,
so
they said most dudes are 6'2"?
They said that at 6 foot. Go look at that. And I said, if y'all think that, then you already know that the women are thinking that. And that tells you everything you need to know about why these bitches always complaining about not having no man. Because it's like, y'all actually thinking NBA and NFL is fucking normal.
Well, it might be for one night.
I'm saying
it's normal
dudes are out here. No, the way the dudes are talking, I'm talking about in the chat. They were talking like they're not used to seeing dudes under 6 feet. The way they were talking. Yes.
What was this?
We had a whole thing because we also had an argument.
I mean,
about,
they live on a D1 campus or something. I mean, maybe they live in a college town like.
No, man, look, it was a whole dudes in my chat. This wasn't like dudes that just grouped up, so they all separated. So that wasn't the case. And I understand that certain people deal with certain people. I get that, but what I'm saying is, I asked them that question, and this was a lot of dudes. Even the dudes that were like under 6 foot was saying that. So it's like y'all really think the average height of regular men is that of NFL players and slightly shorter NBA players. And I was like, y'all really need, and it really was a mind bomb. I said, y'all really need to think about that and I'm like, if y'all thinking like that, you know these hoes are thinking like that.
Wait, did you ask them what they thought the average weight of a black woman was?
They know black women are fat. My chat ain't stupid. That's why I was surprised about that, because I said, fuck it, let me ask that because I'm curious. They also think the average, like black, most of these guys are attracted to tall women.
What was their point though? What was the point of the guys?
I was asking a question. We ended up organically talking about, because I talked about how y'all people perceive the world a certain way and y'all are arguing based on certain perceptions. And then and height was like an example, because I said height is a universal beauty marker. We kind of got into it because I know how black men and black women are with height. Like they'll talk about, they'll feel, I kind of got into it because I was really hollering about this guilt complex that black men be feeling for black women. And I know where it comes from. Some of you niggas are pre-qualified. And so you all have this guilt complex when they bitching about who not getting picked. And I said that becomes a problem when you all start to export that to other dudes, talk about what other dudes need to do. Because y'all start telling other dudes they need to clean up shit because you think you helping these women. And I said, you all actually see a world that's not the same as the real world. And I gave an example. And then as I started to say, height came in and everybody talking about they 6 foot, 6'2", 6'3". I said, well, fuck it. How many of you niggas, how many of y'all think, what's the average you think is average height you think average man? 6 foot, 6'1". Okay. What do you think the average height? And this was a lot of people. This wasn't just a couple of people. What is the average height of an NBA player? And then I said it, 6'6". I had them guess first. And then they said 6'6", because at first they were saying like 6'4", 6'4", was like 6'4", 6'5". And then I said, okay, what do you think the average height of an NFL player? They got that right. They were like 6'1". So I was like, so y'all think the average height, and it wasn't that they thought the average height of a normal person, but it was like when you look at how tall they are and how tall these NFL people are, and they kind of said they thought it was average. I'm like, so y'all think the average height of professional athletes is like the same of normal niggas? And then when you combine that with women thinking 6 figures ain't a big deal, I was like, the level of how warped.
But
like
no,
because they kept on acting like.
Come on, Ed. Though, let's be honest. Most of these people that are acting like that, they're getting it based off television and the media, because they're looking at someone like one of these rich dudes on TV, NBA. They're judging everything about what they hear coming out the media about entertainers. Because again, black people consume the most entertainment. Even if no one ever told you that, you would know it just even on YouTube. If you don't think it's true, all you got to do is look at the difference between if you have a conversation about like do a research paper you might be talking about on a panel versus if you do like a upload on some kind of celebrity news, bro. Everyone knows it that's ever done an upload or a stream. The audience loves that catnip of paparazzi entertainment. So they're getting their viewpoint is filtered through Hollywood, bro. Come on.
So this is, and I get all of that, but it's one thing to get the shit, but when you see that these people are like acting in the observable world like that, like, and the
now
thing,
what do you mean by that?
And the reason why this came up is because all these guys were really saying, and I'm not saying they should think they hot shit, but they was all acting like, well, I'm 6 foot, I'm 6'1", they ain't even short, they ain't even tall. Like, you know, that's where I got into that, asking them, because it was like 7 people that said that, like, I ain't even tall like that. I mean, I don't feel tall, and I'm like, well, who the fuck are you around? Like, I'm not saying,
come on.
No, and it wasn't, and dude, some of these people is like Meech and them. These are people that we know. These are not people that like, these are random niggas that are not on my shit. These are people like, so I asked, and my point is that, and I've observed that like black, like the way you see the world is not what it is. It's not. Like, you really out here believing that, and I'm like, if y'all believe that,
But
then
Ed, but,
I know
but
these
you know,
hoes believe that.
Ed, come on, no. You do know that people have a blind spot because again, most
I
people,
said that because I said when you buy a car, you still see a car. I get that.
Most people are invisible to those they don't consider competition. So again, the guys you're talking about, I'll guarantee you, they pay more attention to the men that they see as competition for them. So
that is true.
So more than likely, when they see 5'5" Ed from Southside, they don't see you.
I get that, but the whys don't matter. It's almost like somebody saying, I got a blind spot to cars. Well, at the end of the day, motherfuckers still getting hit and dying. It doesn't, I get the why. I get the why. I said a lot of the whys. The whys don't matter because at the end of the day, you have black men and black women. It doesn't matter why it is. It's that they are making life decisions. I'm talking about black women because when you hear black women, they're making life decisions based on these things. They are going through mental issues. Like, perfect example. At the beginning of this conversation, I will talk about all these BBLs. Mm-hmm. These bitches are literally thinking they are one BBL away to DR. And all this self-esteem, all this bullshit. Like, this is how warped. This is why when David Carroll said being a black woman is a mental illness, you think that's cap, but you be like, damn, they really think that. They really out here thinking the average man, and it doesn't matter. Like, I get all what you're saying, but the thing is, nobody else thinks that way. I get the media still. Like so you reach all these bitches think they could be 200 pounds, and they either gonna get a Boris Kojo or Idris Elba, and then anything else is settling. That's a mental illness. That's what that is.
I think it is a mental illness because I said before, like when I was at the like 2 months ago at this club, 90% of the population inside the club was all female. All female.
Yeah, because niggas don't even go no more. What's the point?
They had their own tables. They had their own little clique groups. Now, the thing about it wasn't, I would say out of that 90% all female, I would probably say, I'm not even kidding, maybe 2% black female that was in there. And everything else was like, it was literally a handful of guys littered with females. And it was just, to me, it was, it's to be expected, but that just showed me, like, in general, most dudes are just not even really going out to clubs.
No, they're not. You're so right about that. I see that Xanatos came up, but Xanatos, it's just this one bullet point I want to say from the census that you guys will love that stood out to me from the 2020 census. This one line. For most racial and ethnic groups, men are more likely than women to be unpartnered. The one exception is among black adults, where women, 62%, are more likely to be unpartnered than men, 55%. Now, this is coming from the U.S. Census 2020. You got it, Xanatos.
Man, look, I'm glad you mentioned that because we are going to be talking about that U.S. Census and the rise of the SYSBM Confederacy out west.
Yeah, Xanatos.
And I just got back from the West, bro, and I swear, man, I told Mom, we was on the phone and I was at the Hyatt, and I'm like, Mom, I might have to put in a 2-week notice. I might not be coming back, man. And she was like, you better get back here. You got to, if you're going to leave your job, give it time and all this. Cause I did not want to come back here, bro. I was having such a good time out there.
Man, and you're in Minneapolis, which is like one of the other places that I'm not sure with the George Floyd stuff, but historically, I mean, that was the SYSBM Confederate state itself. I mean, Minnesota.
Yeah, but you know how it is. Like once you reach that point of diminishing returns, you've been in a place for so long, it's everything is too familiar. The sights, the sounds, the people. See for me, even like when I went out to New York, everyone tells me how much they hated New York, but I love New York and DC, at least as a visitor. Oh. Now that I've been to the West Coast, again, like you said, Minnesota being out here, it's so similar. It was like there's no culture shock for me.
Damn, what did that bitch say?
The thing about what I noticed about the chicks out there, the women out there were so what was different about the Pacific Northwest women versus the Midwest is that the women are like very just extremely perky. It's like they're not as aggressive as New York. New York women are reserved and aggressive, but the women in the Pacific Northwest are very confident. They're very perky, very fun. You know what I'm saying? A little bit, more liberated than the Midwest girl. Midwest girls are fun, but they're a little bit more reserved, more, looking for a long-term thing. Those girls out in the Pacific Northwest, they are all about the fun.
Look, and we're all about fun here. I mean, whether you want to have fun for the long run or fun for one night, it doesn't matter. And that's what these individuals, everyone else who's the opposition, who's part of that axis of evil, they need to realize that. You have the Scraggle Daggles. We all know about them. You got the Baby Kid Defenders. Speaking of which, Mr. Mighty Morphin Power Nigga 504, if you don't get your ass up here so the price is right, I'm about to cook you, right? You've been running your mouth like a damn daggle all day long, network chat. So if you have something to say to me, and if you want me to sound like a white girl, right? Huh? Is this white girl enough for you? Because is this the closest you'll ever get to hearing a white girl talk to you?
Wow. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I gotta bring this up, especially with Xanatos up here. Shay still got taken off the air. Yeah. And one of the things she said of the vaccine is she said, I don't know why Obama identifies as black. I was like, and I know Sage Steele's history. Like Sage Steele, because Sage Steele been pissing off folks for a while because she occupies that kind of tragic mulatto space where she be really, even with like the other black women on there, she don't really get along with, but she don't get along with none of them for the most part. But yeah, they didn't like that. They didn't like that shit.
But didn't she just get got? Didn't she get got by her husband too? The white dude, didn't he just get her for like alimony and all that, or palimony?
No, I don't think she got got. No,
you sure? Because I think that she.
I would have saw that article.
Okay, so she just got dropped by ESPN, but I thought a white dude.
Well, she got taken off air for a minute. Like I don't know what it is about Sage Steele, but they be keeping her ass. But yeah, because she was on there talking to Jay Cutler. No, it wasn't Sage Steele that got with alimony.
Oh, okay.
Trust me, Sage Steele know how to act with her white dude. She don't.
She let them pet. I remember that when she was live on air, she let the white dudes pat her on the head live on air like she was a damn pet, like the family pet or something.
But anyway, I mean, I'm like, if that's all, honestly, I don't think she should got took off air for that. To be honest, like if that and the vaccine is all she said, I mean, I think she should have a right to. I mean, ESPN made a decision to.
How did you take that comment though? What did you? So when you heard her make the comment about Obama and his black father not being there, what was your interpretation?
Well, what she said was, the thing about it is, we know we know Obama really leaned into his blackness for his political career. Yeah, that's a fact. So I mean, and as far as shit. That's a completely legit statement she made. Now, people will feel some type of way about it, but fuck it. I mean, that's not nowhere near. That shouldn't even be on the top.
See, I saw it a little bit differently. That's why I wanted to hear what you
said. Well, the thing is, it's very clear to say, look, understand something. And I'm going to say this straight up, and some of y'all going to feel some type of way. I don't give a fuck. I personally think my term genetic gentrification, And I personally think they're draining the black community down until they could do what the UK do and make mixed race like an official, or people of color an official designation. And then you're gonna see a lot of people bail the fuck out. They can bail the fuck out. And that's like the worst. That's like worst case scenario. That's like a Ultron what if scenario.
Yeah.
But and see, black women don't even understand that. Like, they don't even understand the long term, because they're going to do that. And once they don't need black women for jack shit anymore, the liberals are going to do that.
Oh, they playing them so hard. They're playing them so hard right now.
And the only Negroes that's going to really have some is going to be some that's like in higher classes, because those folks are going to be pretty much locked in to a certain pathway they kind of got to go. Because to deal with the ratchet, you're going to go out of that group.
But they stay voting against their own interests, because like you mentioned with the people of color, that term people of color, they don't understand that term is.
And by the way, BGS has said this too. He said this. This is a 70-year plan. Go ahead.
Yeah, that people of color thing, that's that little Trojan horse, because now I'll be hearing people say, like, I started seeing black people on television saying it, like, I'm a people of color. No, I'm a native black American man. That's how I define myself. But I'm seeing people like Michael Eric Dyson and all these paid talking heads. Now they're saying people of color. And then I'm like, okay, well, let me get this straight. So let's say you got robbed in Times Square and someone was running down the street and a cop came to you. Did you see the person that robbed them? Ain't no damn person will be like, it was a people of color that ran that. Because it doesn't. It's a meaningless term.
That's a game that's only played with black people. Other groups play along, but they know how it really go down, and they know they don't. You notice, like, it's black and like it's bullshit. They only say that when they're trying. Notice how that people of color term is really only.
But what I'm saying is in terms of how in terms of job allocation, in terms of the way that grants are being given. Do you realize that now corporations have the shield of, if they bring in an Indian from straight out of India and bring them into that job place, he's a people of color now. Because how could you play yourself? How could you checkmate yourself?
Because that's how much you don't like that nigga. Everything they like, and that's how focused they are with that. Like, we know women cut their face to spite the mirror. That's how much they hate black men. They have literally destroyed their community because they hate black men. They do not understand the black man has got, and not even economic value. The black man has got genetic value. Is going to be able to get mid-tier females too. Because it's people that's going, they understand the value of a man being there that they can cooperate with, if nothing else. So, because it is like, ain't no how. I mean, we know what it is. Trying to understand it is irrelevant. I just point to what it is and just say, shit, the sun comes up because it comes up. I don't need to know what fucking gravity is. Because knowing what gravity is ain't gonna change what the fucking sun is doing. And that's how it is with them. And at the end of the day, a lot of what I do is just to map out. Y'all are not gonna act like y'all didn't know. And see, and look, and this is what I'm saying, 504. You're never gonna hear this type of talk. You will never hear on a Little People Number. Could you imagine King Sigma or Xanatos talking, or Marty, any of us, Freeman, you too? Could you imagine any of us talking to Kay or talking to Courtney? Now, I tried to talk to Courtney, and Trey intercept my ass because I had her ass. Like, she's talking about, yes, don't even get me. Oh my God, Courtney. Like, y'all saw what it was when Courtney sent me that. Courtney, Sigma. Stigma's a stats guy too. Courtney, okay, so we were on Pablo Frescobar shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Courtney, I really should get the video and play the shit again just so y'all can hear it, but I ain't gonna be petty. Courtney literally said that 70% of all children are born out of wedlock. And then she said, hold on, that's not the best part. Then she said, we all look at black demographics, but we don't look deep enough in the data of black demographics. And if she's got the data and she can email it. Then Trey was like, I don't want that shit. And she said, exactly. And then Trey said, because black demographics is basic. You ain't looking deeper in the shit. So I said,
crosstabs.
Yeah, so I said, fuck it, send it. And I'll go over it. So it ended up being sent after the show. I look at this shit, I pull this shit on my video, and then Smurgo, to his credit, I'm looking at this because it's a bar chart. It's a fucking bar chart. In fact, I'll show you the chart. And then Spargo, like, that shit don't say that shit, because I was about to break it down why it's bullshit. He said that shit say 70% of all non-black kids are in two-parent households. And then, like, it said 46% are in two-parent households, accounts for, like, cohabitation. And I was like, no, so she
again,
said some shit that wasn't even right. Like she read the shit wrong. And we was all
she's trying to dispute your facts, but again, straight from the census 2020, I'll read it again. For most racial and ethnic groups, men are more likely than women to be unpartnered. The only exception is among Black adults, where women, 62%, are more likely to be unpartnered than Black men at 55%. How are we not talking about this?
Well, because again, what they're doing, you've been gone for a minute, Sigma. What they've been doing is they've been challenging everything we say. Like they want to challenge the 53% of Black men or don't have kids. They want to just say we lying. That's basically the tactics that people are saying.
Well,
they
what
want to say
they want to say is that they're too lazy. Because again, it's interesting to me because I'm like, wow, the government was you could tell that we're being watched in these spaces by the feds because for them to be that detailed, they know exactly what's going on and they know the facts and they're putting it out there in a way that I've never seen them do before because again, they made it clear that there's nearly a 10% gap between Black men being unpartnered versus Black women. Every other group, Latinos, white, the men are more out partnered. But with Black men have an easier time finding a mate than Black women do. So,
well, yeah, because that's what they say. And I'm like, okay, so why don't you show that y'all know what we say is true? Why don't y'all just show the shit countering it? That way, we got it. The burden is on us to prove it to be true. Sorry, I didn't get a hold of mute.
But it's funny. You know what's funny?
But they never have their stats.
But it's a trap though, because as soon as you show them the stats, guess what they say? Oh, those are the white man statistics.
Well, they're using the same statistics. Yeah, because the argument that people keep making is they're peer reviewed stats and all of that. So
they don't even know how to spell peer review. But so when they knock the white man stats, you say, well, this came from the federal government. Well, that's the socialist stats. But then you say, okay, we went to Black demographics. Well, that's the Chitlin circuit.
Well, to be fair, this particular group ain't pulling that because then it's like, okay, so you're basically saying you don't want to deal with stats, and at that point, you can't be seen as a credible person.
Well, there's the best stat in the world is that lonely, cold room and those cats that they keep coming back to. That's the best stat.
Because the narrative is basically, people, you got people that's on here now. And so because you got so many people that's kind of came up here on COVID, they still stuck on the stupid shit. So for the most part, they're going to try to do what's necessary to grow rather than tell the truth. And to a certain extent, some of that is entertaining because some of them do spur conversations. And I'm not just talking about the people. I'm talking about a lot of different groups because they want to play this game about, well, it's just Black men got to get their shit together and Black women got to get their shit together and we can just come together. We're past that.
Okay, but then again, so even I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying it is funny, though. Even if you say, well, these Black men got to get their stuff together, again, Black men are less in number, but they're having a easier time finding a partner. So that argument has no weight. It holds no weight because again, Black women outnumber Black men, but they still are having less success than Black men in finding a mate. Even with all these derogatory terms towards Black men, all the negative talk, for some reason, Black men still find it easier to find a mate out there in the marketplace. Even if we take that all these things they say is true about Black men, then Black men must have a superpower because they're still outperforming their numbers probably better than any other group when you consider that all the research shows that Black men are the most discriminated against group in the United States, in the workplace, in every area of activity. And the whole foundation of white supremacy is misandry. If you take the misandry factor out of white supremacy, it doesn't exist. American white supremacy only can exist if anti-Black male nature is the norm in the United States. And I'm telling you, anti-Black male hate is the norm in the United States. And Black men still are out here getting it. They're still crawling and getting it.
What Black women don't seem to understand, they don't understand the market in which they're in. So case in point, you could take when people say, oh, black men need to get their stuff together and vice versa, Black women need to get their stuff together. Okay, let's go with that. Okay. But now let's take somebody that we all know, Jerry Meeks, right? Convict, got arrested, face tattoos, got out of jail, got rich. He's good. Take the inverse of that. Who would be the inverse of that? Let's just take the average Black woman, Sham Keisha, overweight, 300 pounds, bad attitude, weave, no hair. She can't make that giant leap in a short amount, or if at all, like a black man can. Like, we could be down yesterday and be up tomorrow, and we're still good because our success with women is not really predicated on how tall we are, what we look like. It really comes down to, how we produce. And what women can't do that. They can be like Oprah, get billions of dollars. That still don't matter to them. So they're not in a position where they can right the ship just by get it together. Like, there's no amount of BBL surgery, there's no amount of working out that if you've lived a life of access or Twinkies for the last 20 years, you can't just turn around on a Tuesday and be like, okay, I'm gonna get it together. It's just not gonna happen.
Look, as far as that's concerned, what you two said are, excuse me, is definitely on point, especially in the case of King Sigma, where he said that even though the United States and its WS, I'm not going to even call these guys supreme, but the systematic discrimination being towards black men, straight black men especially, straight black productive men especially, and seeing how we have been able to be successful despite the odds. Do you not think that other nation states are watching this and aren't taking note? Now, when the time comes, and it's more likely going to be when around the time the U.S. I'll say this, the U.S. dollar doesn't become the world reserve currency anymore, or it's under threat of not becoming the world reserve currency. Do you not think that these other countries are going to analyze the misandry that has happened against black men for centuries on end, and will say, hey, American black men, we've seen how bad you've been treated in this country, and we want to give you a different offer, a different opportunity.
And it could happen, and I could, because the thing is, it's
it's not a could though, Ed, because Canada and the United Nations has already pretty much said that
what I was going to actually do is give a historical precedent. I mean, the USSR did that, not that, but when they were using the racism that was going, this is what the Civil Rights Movement actually used. This was one of the weapons they used, was like how in the Soviet Union were saying they were undermining America's soft power by basically showing what was going on, in the civil rights movement with the newspapers and stuff, saying that, these people are just as bad as us. So this is what democracy, this is what capitalism does. And so that's why the civil rights movement actually had a lot of points. So to counteract that, a lot of them allowed a lot of black jazz musicians and saxophone musicians to go in the USSR to try to show a different image. So my point is that the geopolitics of that is definitely possible. It's definitely possible.
It's already there though, like Canada and the UN already have programs that black men, Native Black American men, qualify for already. You can get refugee status.
Well, the problem is niggas will pay. You know how niggas are. That's the problem. Like, if we're talking about a certain group of men that's like can operate in the international middle class, so to speak, but you talk about dudes, how them niggas be like, that's why China go beat up on Americans. These are these niggas that are mad at the white man and mad at Whitey, and they want Whitey, something to happen to Whitey, nobody else. I know that's not what you're speaking of, Xanatos, but you understand how motherfuckers are. So it's like, you still gotta, I'm not saying that can't happen. I've already given a precedent to where geopolitically that could happen, because it's so much there. Why wouldn't you do that? Because
I'm just saying that, like, this whole conversation, I'm just noticing that when we have these little conversations, the fact is, again, it took me a while to really pinpoint what I was thinking, but I came to realize that misandry is literally the foundation of any argument that you want to have about white supremacy. If you can't talk about anti-black male hate, then no other conversation is valid in my eyes anymore.
Yeah, that's why I focus on the gynocracy. Go ahead.
Yeah, because again, the whole system that we're talking about that's creating this dynamic is based on a shared and accepted hatred of black men. It's only if it's like, you can even see it on TV. You can say anything about black men that's disrespectful and dishonorable, and no one says anything.
Yeah.
But you can't say. But if you say something about one of the pet projects that they're on, you can't get away with anything. You can, even if it's an honest critique, you're a misogynist.
Well, not only that, you're supposed to save these women from landmines landfills they choose to walk in, and landmines they actually see and choose to step on anyway because they pussy wet.
Yeah. You're supposed to do all that. But again, so for me, that's why I don't get into this white supremacy stuff. And I bring it back to anti-black male hate, because to me, that is the foundation of everything that we're talking about. The arrangement with the black matriarchy in this artificial position. Guess what? That was put in position by the white males to control black men through the women. And this whole idea that they're operating independently, no. They are operating 100% under control of white men who use them as a proxy. So that's an artificial situation.
And the problem is, well, it's not a problem, but you got folks that they want to pretend that ain't happening. Like they want to be on whatever shit that they're on and say racism doesn't exist. I don't care. Honestly, believing in that shit is not a prerequisite for what I need done. And also when we're having these conversations, because again, it was funny. We were talking on Pablo Fresco Bar, and the reason why Courtney is getting brought up because Obsidian interviewed her. So these are like the after shows that kind of happened as a domino effect after that. And then Obsidian ended up doing a follow up one where she came on, and then because she's on that LaPeep show, and then they did another one, and then she was talking about, she made an argument because you know how they are fresh. Because Pablo is SYSBM, that's SYSBM heavy channel, and Passport Bros too, and they were saying, oh, well, we have options. Oh, well, those women fetishize you. Well, I made the argument: black women fetishize black men just as, if not more. Actually, they do it more.
Facts, even more.
And then she said no, and I asked her a question. This is why I got mad at Trey, because Trey intercepted that and bailed her out. Not on purpose, because he wanted to tell her how she wants shit. Because that's what he needed to get off his heart. And and I asked her, I said, okay, well, give me an example of this loyalty outside of a sexual context. Well, black men are beautiful. Okay, well, first of all, you're calling men beautiful, which but that's a fact, but whatever. Again, what is an example of this outside of context? Well, black women are loyal, and then Trey just lost it. Bitch, what? And then I lost. I knew I was gonna lose it. I tried to get it in there so fast, and because I knew after, because as soon as that happened, it was like hitting the beehive. What? Bitch, what?
Full Mighty Morphin Power nigga.
Yeah, and that argument they make that you just referred to, you were talking about the height thing. That's a fetish. If you're saying that you only date black guys that are 6 foot, and then the whole BBD thing or whatever, then that's a fetish. See, black women fetish. Again, any black woman that will go out in public and call her significant other that happens to be a black man a nigga, that's a fetish. Calling black men nigga in the public spaces is a fetish. Yeah. And it's also a form of misandry. And also, again, having that qualification, which I'm all for everyone getting what they want, but don't say that a white woman fetish a black man. If Ed goes down the street and he knocks a Latina at 5'5", because to her, shit, he's tall. Most Latinas are like 5'1". Yeah. And then the black chick says, oh, she's fetishing you. But then the same black woman will say to your face, I only date guys that are 6 feet, yada, yada. That's a fetish too.
Gail know we're talking about who this applies. Gail know. So Gail don't need to say what she think. Clearly she's here. What do you like? Gail knows this is for who this applies to, and she's heard these conversations in real time. Because Courtney was over there with Jessica X too. So again, though, they want to have this honest conversation, and I'm like, you're not really having an honest conversation. What you're trying to do is solidify the gynocracy, and then turn around, and it's kind of like you try to pull the ladder up. You're trying to pull the ladder up and then reset the conversation like we gonna come together. No, that's not what's happening. And so when we're seen as extremists, we're not extremists. We're just pointing it as it is. But when you say and like I said, they lost it when she said that, and then she tried to bring up the stats about, because then she tried to make the argument about all children are like out of wedlock, and that's when that bar chart. I mean, and she was wrong on the stats. So
but when they use the term fetish, though, Ed, what I'm saying is that this is what I mean. When you and I have had this conversation, we talked about how the problem I have with the black majority in these conversations, no word actually means anything, right? They're the only space I've ever been to where any word, like the actual definition of a word, no longer has meaning. It means whatever they want it to mean for the argument. But when you talk about a fetish, that's like an obsession with something specific in a person in a sexual way. To me, if they're going to make the fetish argument, the same class of black women are the biggest group of fetishizers on the planet. Because again, you and Obsidian have talked about this height thing, right? I'm average height. I'm 5'10". So I don't see it as much as you guys do at 5, 6, 5, 5, whatever.
Sure.
But I'm going to take that as valid because it's your experience and say that how is it not a fetish if these same women say, I only date men that are 6 foot, 6+, 6-pack, 6-figure.
Honestly, I don't make that argument because height is a universal beauty marker. So the thing about dudes that are shorter, it doesn't matter. We know this. The argument that I'm gonna make is when niggas, usually they're 6 foot or taller, so that's pre-qualified range, start telling other niggas they need to clean up like on the Beta Bucks situation, because they feel guilty. No, this is what Gab does.
Hold on. So they telling y'all to clean up with the Beta Bucks.
But this is what Georgia Boy does, where they sit there and say, "You angry? You need to do this." Like, and my point is, they want to save these chicks because either they had a daughter and they looking at that bright-eyed little girl, or what it is, they feel guilty. And then they start telling they don't target certain dudes. They just say it. Oh, well, you niggas pump and dump. You creating the women you talk about by pumping and dumping and bullshit like that. That's like, nigga, fuck your guilt. Like, no, because you don't never hear like short dudes that or whatever. Like, let's say I'm not select because there's dudes that select just off the strength of their light skin, regardless of height. Because remember, height, it has different variations depending on where you at. Even in Africa, if you got money, because the class is a select thing, and that's what people see. You don't hear that in Black culture because they don't
work for that.
Yeah, exactly.
It ain't
that's mad disrespectful.
So and they don't even do it on purpose. But what they do, but I understand why they do it because I've seen that in real life and I've seen that in other situations too. So it's not so niggas will come back and say, ain't nobody giving a fuck about nobody feeling sorry about somebody short. That's between them and God. But what I'm saying is, don't fucking white knight because of some black guilt. That is when I'm gonna be like, nigga, you keep that shit. I don't give a fuck what you did with the bitches you fucked. That's between you and when you go upstairs. Don't sit there and white knight and come in the spaces and start polluting this shit. White knighting. That's when I start to get mad. Cause you never, and that's why I even tell Obsidian, the height shit don't matter because you ain't never changed. Cause that's a biological thing with women. So that is what that is. And obviously, and it's really not as bad as what people like to make it out to be honest. But it depends on who you are. Because, people got other features or whatever. But my point is, that's not the point. The point is that white knight and bullshit. So when you come in here simping because you thinking you protecting these bitches because you think you making up for the time you smutted out some hoes, nigga, get the fuck out of here. I'll give you a perfect example. Perfect example. And I hate to say this. Well, I'm going to say it. Fuck it. He said it publicly. Shout out to Dynas. He's over 100,000. Dynas, the first time I ever heard it's getting dark in here. Dynas told a story how when he was a coon. This is what he said. I was listening to his channel. And he said, yeah, man, I used to be fucked up. I used to be cooning myself. There was one time I was in football where I was playing football. So, he's a state star in California. It's known. And then, black women would come into the club, being my, the friends, people in the football team. And then we'd be like, he said this, it's getting dark in here. And I'm like, nigga, what? I've never even heard that. Yeah, I said, how is that shit even in your mind?
I ain't never heard nothing like that before.
Clutch is like, damn, I hate these bitches, but I don't never say shit like that. I just leave.
Whoa.
I'm like, and he said that, and then the point of it was he was talking about where he used to be and how he is now, and he's with a black woman, Prince of Nigeria. He's really good because he's good on the sales shit. He keeps it 100. And he takes criticism probably better than anybody I've actually seen. Because I've seen his ass get lit up on the phone, and to the point where niggas be like, "Damn, I need to dial back. This nigga's actually like not reacting. He's actually hearing it. So okay, maybe I'm going too hard." So yeah, shout out to him. But he said it, and that's what he said. And I'm not playing him. I mean, you can look at where he is now. But my point is, that. Is that niggas will be like that, and then they may have a switch somehow, and then they feel guilty. Man, yeah, you right. I did fuck these white bitches. Man, you right. I did get these bitches pregnant. Man, you right. These women, I took a good girl and I basically turned her into 304 because I broke her. I'm like, nigga, that's on you.
But Ed, I think you're giving them too much credit when you say it's like a guilt thing. It's not a guilt thing. It's actually a practical thing because think about it. These dudes that you're saying that are actually telling guys that are a certain height, hey, you know, take my my dirty laundry.
Well, that's not. Actually, they never. I want to be clear. That's not what they ever say. They never say. They're not coming in here and saying all the niggas under a certain height are implying that. They're talking about everybody in general. So if they come up over here,
I'm saying that it's practical because think about it. They're like, hey, I'm hitting it and I'm quitting and I'm out the door. And if they happen to leave back a seed, they want the best for their seed, and they know that either they can't do it or they're not willing to. Like, so they left a liability. So when they see, I'm not saying you, Ed, but I'm saying the guys that they want to clean up, they're saying, hey, there's a hard-working guy over there. Yo, we need to get him to take care of my bad decisions and my
and to be clear, and height is not this thing that they look at. Like, for example, when you hear niggas talk about you, they imply that you're weak because you go, like, think about it. The niggas that go overseas ain't necessarily short. You know, it's a whole bunch of different niggas that go overseas, passport bros. Or fuck it, fuck overseas, Xanatos for going to the West. You're weak. You're this. That's not aimed at certain people. That's aimed at everybody.
But they're gay though. But they're gay because again, that's some closet homosexual stuff. Again, this whole dick policing narrative to me is that closet homosexual thing. Again, if I'm in a room, I've never been to a club. Me, Xanatos, Ed, we go to a club, and it's 20 women in there. It's 3 of us. I've never heard one of my homeboys say to me, yo, it's not enough niggas in here. Hey, why is so Ed says so no. Ed, so Xanatos, how would you look at Ed if he came up to you like it's 20 women in the room and he's just like, it's not enough niggas in here. We gotta go get some more niggas.
Well, no, what I'm saying though is if you're weak for not dating black women, or you know, and this is why I always say it's not even always something personal. It could be that motherfuckers are just not culturally compatible.
But I think it's something different. I think it can also argument that you're weak for only dating a certain group of women.
I would argue that too.
A man of strength doesn't limit himself.
Only short niggas get passports. That's a
man of strength doesn't limit himself. That's part of power. Power in the world that we live in means I can do what I want to do. That's how you know how much power you have on this planet. You know how I know that white men go everywhere on the planet and say, I can fuck all of these African women in Kenya. I can go to Latin America. I'm a white man. I can go to the hoods of America and slum it up, even though I got a wife and 6 kids in the suburbs, because I'm a white man. Power actually means that you can do what you want to do when you want to. And to the extent that you can, that tells you how much power you have or don't have.
Yeah. And black women, you notice how, and it's like you've heard. So again, I don't want to indicate that, but the only reason why height even came up in this conversation right now is because that's a universal marker of like, you know, that's a universal signal of pre-qualification. That does not mean that you're pre-qualified because, you know, goofy niggas. But what I'm saying is because you understand the numbers as to who's usually what height, then you understand that those people are going to get some looks. That's what I'm saying. So that's all. It's not about saying like, cause that's not even a problem. And usually, even me and Obsidian go back and forth because, you know, Obsidian wants to like corral people into this like non-select bullshit, and I don't really go along with that because if somebody's asking me for, first of all, I date black women, so you gotta sift through people. But this idea that you can't get what you want, you'd be surprised. Everybody ain't on that as much as you.
Yo, that sounds kind of strange, Ed. How he said corralling together like that's so.
That is what he does because you can literally see it when he'll sit there and try to. It's like he's trying to like
that could be that sound like some hater shit. Like, so imagine that you with a bunch of cats at a party and it's like one dude that the women don't want, and then the dude that actually has a chance with the girl, he's like, hey, no, you don't got to. Hey, come over here. We don't. Well,
what it is he's trying to get people under his ideology. He does it in a very like passive aggressive way, and it's like, you know, like he'll try to ask a whole bunch of series of closed-ended questions to try to, you know, park you.
But the facts don't show that though. The facts show more.
I know.
I like what ARC says. He uses the term. He says alpha, beta, alpha. You know, it's like most men most black men are actually in the middle. So, like, if you look at a bell curve,
you know, when he started saying black women, all like most black men over 6 figures deal with black women today. I'm like, that ain't the future.
That's not. I had that conversation with him, and I actually provided. I had that conversation with him, and I provided quite a few facts that show that has not necessarily been the trend. Because when you look at people like Michael Jordan, that was true in his prime, right? But look at Michael Jordan, for example. He's a guy who had a black wife, but now as an older man, he chose a Latina that he has twins with now. And you see that even with a lot of the older black guys, a lot of their second wives, like Robert Smith, right? He had a black wife initially, but now he has a white wife. See what I'm saying? So it's like that stat ain't really adding up at all. But I'm just saying.
But he keeps saying it though.
Yeah, but the fact, hey, you can say whatever you want, but ultimately here, the way I see the dating market out here for black men, you have about 20% that are in that category, what I would call, select kind of guys. But then you have the bottom 20% that are more like what you call like the omega males, the genetic dead ends, the guys that it just ain't gonna happen. But then most black men are actually in the middle, in that 50 to 60%, where they're some level of select and they're just like semis, they're average. But this idea that it's like it's the situation where it's like 90% of black men are just not, that's babble. That's
and another thing too is when we have these conversations, and I got you, Marty, because we are about to wrap this up. These conversations are predicated on the idea of black women have exclusive choice rights. Shout out to Lion 917 with the $10 cash app. But yeah, and that's why I always say that. I always be like, y'all talking about this as if we're just talking about black people dating black people, and black men ain't 6% of the population. And yeah, you got a lot of dudes that are in zones where they're only surrounded by black women, but that's being less and less and less. So you got to separate that, because that's what motherfuckers be talking. They be talking like black women are like Spectrum Cable where there's no other option. That's it.
Yeah, the 60%, 50 to 60%, in my opinion, that I would say in the middle, the difference between them dating like a sham Keisha and leveling up to a different class of woman. Keisha. In my opinion, it's a cross between clout and economics, because a lot of what's going on today, from what I see, it's a lot of fast-paced Instagram clout, but behind all of that, if you actually have the economics to do whatever it is you're doing, the females actually do notice that. And but it's like a melting pot of clout and economics. So if you kind of just peter out in that average, now you're gonna get the roly polies or the daggles or whatever. But if you can kind of notch it up where you can financially, and I'm only saying financials because not as a tool to be like, oh, I got money, so give it me. No, what I'm saying is use that like every other race of man uses in the world for power. I know the other guy, he spoke about that, but power actually means something in the world. So when you're actually able to make decisions on your own, you don't have to check in, you just go do what you want. That's attractive to females because they look at that as leadership. Like, oh, he wants to go travel here. He wants to start a business. He can actually do things as opposed to a guy who's just his life is dictated by the weekly paycheck. There's nothing wrong with a weekly paycheck as long as it's a good weekly paycheck, because you're on a different time schedule. So I think guys, and I know you said this before, Ed, that the problem to me, guys don't travel. And I think once they do, the biggest power that they have is literally to walk away and not say anything. Because then those guys, like Obsidian, they're going to just be like, Doctor Strange when the universe was collapsing on him. That's Obsidian to me. He's like, no. And he's going to be in his own little prison. Nobody can help him. Nobody can save him.
I just think that we overthink this stuff because, again, even being out in the Pacific Northwest and checking things out, man, you know what I noticed? Not one person mentioned any of the conversations that we have on here while I was out there.
Exactly.
No one came up to me and was like, hey, you're from the Twin Cities. What do you think about black women? Not one person, male or female, came up to me and asked me that question. Hey, what do you think about the gender war between black men and black women? No one in the real world out there on a daily basis even thinking about this shit.
See, they have no idea it's happening.
A lot of people,
no other race would even know it.
A lot of people are thinking these bubbles that we have is reality. This shit is real talk that we're talking, but I'm telling you, out there in the real world, it just isn't a conversation that people care
Well,
about.
no,
Man.
yeah, it's not, because the thing about it is they're not. There's a reason for that, because it's like in the real world, it's like the Matrix. People are out there. But one thing I would, but where, and what you're saying is valid, but where it's valid, the thing is, we had this conversation to understand what's going on. But what's the most important thing is, well, I won't say the most important. One factor is this: a lot of the dumb shit that black women do, as far as thinking like the shit that they really gassing each other up to think, like a nigga that's got money don't mean shit, swag over everything. That shit don't work in the real world. Like, you ain't gonna show me niggas. I don't give a fuck what Obsidian says. You're not gonna show me niggas that got access to they make $110,000 a month or more, that they just exclusively dating motherfuckers, even if the quality ain't there. I don't give a fuck where you.
Well,
I don't
then,
give, I don't give a
but let's
fuck
look.
where
Okay,
you
let's
are.
start at the top 1%. Okay, you look at Byron Allen, right? Byron Allen, Robert Smith. Those are the two richest black men in America, I believe, right? Michael Jordan. All three of those guys are in interracial relationships. Byron Allen,
well,
he's with a white woman. Robert Smith is with a white woman. Jordan is with a Cubana. So even when you start with the in the top 10 richest black men in this country, they're all with non-black women right now.
And to the extent that a lot of the dudes that are making in the six figures and stuff, they got with their wife like in college and shit. The longer they go untethered and they're making that money, that shit drops. And usually with them, as BGS has said, there's a certain type of black woman they go for, like Robert Smith's first wife. That kind of mulatto Kamala Harris looking. So again, that's what those women even complain about.
But why?
So,
you know what's funny about that complaint though, that you say that, right? So it's just weird, right? So they'll say that Kamala Harris is a black woman, even though her father he considers himself a white Creole and her mother is a pure Indian, right? But then if they find out that Kamala has a black husband, they would swear up and down that her black husband is a colorist, and they wouldn't claim her as a black woman. Oh, he's
again, it's all emotional. It's all emotional. That's all. It's the same people that said that against her will, they said Meghan Markle was black.
Even though Meghan Markle took the extra step, not only did she say she's not black, she went and wrote an article in Elle magazine telling black people in America all the reasons why she doesn't identify as black. But oh wait, when the whole George Floyd thing happens, and she's kicked out of the royal family, and it becomes profitable to jump on that quote unquote pro-black wagon, now all of a sudden she's black, and all these black women are claiming how black she is because, again, she has a white man. And I'm pointing back again. Everyone is always talking about white supremacy. You cannot have American white supremacy without anti-black misandry. That is the foundation of it. I'm telling you, bro.
You know where I see that Sigma is in America's love affair with the black villain. OJ, Michael Vick,
R. Kelly now.
R. Kelly, Michael Jackson. They love the black villain.
They love taking down
anybody else.
They love taking down the idols that they put in power. You know what's sad about this, bro? All of these people that we're talking about are people that we grew up as kids looking to in sports, music, and acting, right? Think about the trauma that it can have on the black male consciousness when all of these people that these same institutions told us were great and they were the most talented, and now as we come of age and we hit middle age, now they're destroying these same idols. Some people might say, oh, it's just a coincidence. Nah, man, it's more organized than that. Any black male now, especially straight black men, they aim to build them up and then destroy them before the world. So R. Kelly is not just an individual that was enabled by black women and a few black men enablers, but no, he is the pinata representative of all black men. That's what it's become. So don't let that slip by, man.
All black men with money.
No, it ain't just black men with money. He's a representative of all black men. See, you may think that that's what they want you to think, but I'm telling you right now, R. Kelly represents all black men to them. Bill Cosby represents all black men when something bad is done, because that's part of the misandry. Build this person up and then destroy them as a representative of all black men.
No, I get that, but I'm saying part of that. I'm not discounting that, but part of that is, to me, it's the breakdown of the successful black man. So it's almost like if you become successful, they kind of loop you in that that bag of you're just like, because they're not going after the postal worker or the guy who does dig ditches. They're going after the top elite, financially well off guys. So it almost kind of acts like a buffer. Like, don't you become too successful because you're going to date these white women and you're going to end up like so and so. You're gonna have access to all these women, and they're going. It's almost like like a psyop, so to speak. I'm looking like 10 steps down the road. It's like a psyop to not become successful. Because what happens is you'll have a bunch of dudes who didn't want to become successful in the first place will use that as an excuse. I ain't gonna be like that and get money. You see what happened to so and so.
And that's why niggas, that's a good reason as to why these niggas are so magical about money now. It's
Yeah.
also a good reason Tarina she talked about that as to why a lot of these niggas are so obsessed with illegal money. And they that's a big reason. So so we're gonna get our last comments out because I'm gonna need to end this. So we're gonna start with Sigma.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me up. It's been a minute. Great discussion. But again, like I said, I think that theory is fine, knowledge is fine, reading about things, talking about it's fine. But ultimately, the true wisdom comes from experiencing things. And I think in this post-COVID world, a lot of what we may assume about what existed before 2020 may not necessarily be true as we hit into 2022. And I would advise brothers to actually get out here and move around. And everyone thinks that just means going overseas. I'm not talking about overseas. I know 30-year-old men, 40-year-old men that have never even flown in a plane. I know people who have never been anywhere further than the city next door to them, if even there. I know guys that are grown men that have never left their state, man. And I think that it would behoove those that consider themselves to be free-thinking brothers to get out here and move around, man. Go check out other states, check out other regions. And if you want to go overseas, do that too. But this idea of this racial, sexual restriction on black men, nah, man. To me, the new clan is in blackface. Just like the black matriarchy is an artificial social order, the new form of hate for America is now anti-black misandry, because it's the only hate that you can do in public towards a minority group in this country, and everyone agrees on it. And we have to start looking at it like that, bro. If you took the rhetoric coming from certain people that hate black men and you told someone, oh, that's David Duke saying that, they would say, oh, that's a white supremacist. This is problematic. But then what happens when it's blackface, when it's black people putting out the rhetoric of David Duke and all of these Klan kind of guys? So I think we have to continue to address that. You're doing a good job of countering their propaganda. And, I appreciate what all you guys are doing. And, don't believe the hype. The new age of the black man in the fourth industrial age will be one of unforeseen power and growth. And I don't think the world's ready for it, but they better get ready for it. And I'm out, man.
Absolutely. I'm gonna drop King Sigma's link, so make sure y'all check that out. He's got a lot of classics. I'm gonna go ahead and get that. And then Freeman, you're next.
Yeah, man, I want to go back to something Laser has said about the financial situation going on.
Yeah.
And, I just got to tell people that you need to get your resources, your assets, and your money up right now. Like right now, 50K, 75K a year is just not going to be enough, right? If the things that could happen to the US dollar do, it is going to get real hard out here real quick. And when Americans start feeling poor, right? When Americans start feeling poor, all this post World War II generosity is going to go away real quick. So, yeah, and make sure you get your money up at all costs. Get some assets, get a house, get rentals, whatever you want to do. But I mean, there's a limited amount of time to take advantage of that. I don't care what you do. Start welding, start painting houses, whatever you got to do. I mean, hell, I make a good money in IT and I still do it. I'm working now. I spent this whole stream working. So get it up now, right now. And don't be afraid of different investments. Learn about it. Especially Bitcoin, right? And if all the only thing you need to know about Bitcoin is, hey, all the billionaires are doing this shit, that's enough, right? Because they're not going to screw themselves, because that's who the politicians work for. So, um, just that's what I really have to say. So, I behoove you to do that, and I'm out.
No, absolutely, man. We look forward for when you create that channel. Because like I said, definitely check out El Guapo. You see, El Guapo is growing. Beautiful lies. So folks do get support if they putting out a really good perspective. You done pass my ass. So, but he getting a lot of good promotion. All right, what's up? Marty McFly, what's up?
Yeah. Well, just to piggyback off what he just said, getting financials together is very key moving forward. Like, for instance, I shout him out all the time. Alonzo, the All-Star Advisor, good friend of mine. We're on phone calls daily, because we're putting together an action plan for me to really attack the real estate market in either Cali or Medellin. So this is why I'm always saying this. Like one of the good things to get into is like, let me say if I'm saying it right. I think it's term life insurance or whole life insurance. It's basically one of the plans that we've attacked aggressively to put me in position to take advantage of it after at least a 10-year period to borrow against. But with that said, um, I always tell guys they gotta travel, because all the hoops that you have to jump through in the States, and with the heightism and the back and forth, the gynocracy and all, these things don't happen. Like I said many times, like women overseas, the ones that are the 8s, the 9s, the 10s, they have no clue what this feminism, this we want to be leaders, because they're too busy on boats in different countries being taken care of, and then once you actually have access to those women, the whole landscape of dating changes. It's more digital than anything, because nobody really has time, until you meet somebody face to face, to actually put those the game, and game is not even really necessary overseas to begin with. But by the time you actually meet somebody overseas for dinner, it's, to even get to that point, it's pretty much a done deal. But guys don't really get that type of understanding, being especially in the New York market, because we already went over New York is a totally different like type of animal in itself in terms of dating and whatever. But to be actually, once you go to like these other places and you get exposed to how real life is supposed to be as opposed to what it actually is here, then you'll understand, and then understand why you want to level up as much as you can financially, because it'll all make sense. Because right now, I'm just like a guy telling you, oh, this guy's telling me to get more money. I already know. But once I show you, and like, this is what you can get, this is what can happen, these are the kind of properties you can buy for this amount, then it's like, whoa, what am I doing here? I need to get over there. How do I get over there? How do I build my money up in XYZ? So,
Yeah.
say all I have to say, it's coming. The end is near. You know what I'm gonna say? Just nuke the place. Come back in 10,000 years and see who survives. But
No, I hear you. No, I'm looking at the chat because Zab is talking about never listen to a trick.
whenever you start talking about the money,
Yeah, and that's and my point to that is, and he can definitely have his opinion,
yeah,
but it's like a lot of what y'all need to understand is motherfuckers ain't convincing y'all shit. They gonna put the shit out there. Whoever pick it up, if 1 in 100 people pick it up, they gonna see it was worth putting it out there. But y'all got to realize, ain't nobody really in the business of convincing folks of shit no more.
Oh yeah,
folks are gonna start doing shit, and because the thing about it is, the first thing a lot of people do when they start traveling, is they'll ask the question, why aren't nobody saying this? And then you realize, oh, it's because dudes have these like mindsets, and I'm not even talking about him. I'm just talking in general. Dudes have these mindsets about tricking and shit. Because the shit he talking about ain't tricking. I mean, it's like, if you actually listen to Marty and what he talks about in New York, you can't. It's too much money to really trick to deal with those women, because you ain't showing them no money they ain't seen.
Exactly.
But you. So I know he ain't really necessarily talking to you. He's more talking to what he's hearing, and that's what people want to believe. And hey, if you want to stay in your city and deal with the religion that is gang, because you think anything and money and economics is tricking, like that's what you bind it
Yeah,
to
they don't
yourself,
know how
then
to
go
separate the
ahead.
two.
I'm not here. Hey, we can still be cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I'm really at. It's
But see,
just don't.
those are the same dudes when you be like, let's take a trip overseas. They be like, oh man, I ain't got it. Damn.
Well, my thing is, don't. No, I ain't even talking about him. Like he can even say people can say that. I'm talking about when niggas start playing the you over there trying to be petties and shit. That's when I'm gonna have a problem. But if niggas want to say, oh man, you're tricking and all that, there are some niggas that trick. And the reality is, other races. First of all, even on that front, other races don't have the same mentality. They have. I need to get this nut off so I can go back and do my building. And I'm not going. And I'm gonna take control over how I get my nut off.
Yeah,
That's what it's about.
They think power is on Showtime and Stars on TV. They haven't really seen what power and how.
Yeah.
You see, they don't understand. If you get the boat and you put women on the boat, it does not mean she gets the boat. She's there.
Well,
Because,
people believe in the like black men got to get off the fucking magic, and that's why black men chase the bitch so hard because they believe in the magic. And I'm not even talking about Zab personally. I'm talking about what I've heard because there's a whole bunch of people that say
too magical.
Yeah, and the thing is, y'all, that's a form of putting women on a pedestal. And y'all, like, this is why niggas buy in the game so hard. And this is not about saying, see, here's the thing. Doja Cat says your ass gotta have game. Doja Cat will get with a weak ass, long hair, soy looking white boy that ain't even got bread like that, and then smile her ass off. When Doja Cat
and be happy.
Doja Cat was the literally epitome of a tragic mulatto pick-me when she was basically allowing those weirdo ass white boys to kind of low key shame her ass, and she took it with glee. It was like a ritual sacrifice when they were saying like on how she got some blackness in, even though Doja Cat in most countries wouldn't even pass as black, to be honest with you. In most countries, and that includes countries like the UK. But they'll sell you that you need to be 6 foot, have game, and have all of this when you see, and that's the killer thing. You see them get with other motherfuckers with glee. It's not on that. And that's what David Carroll, shout out to David Carroll, just dropped his rabbit hole. David Carroll will say that like that. And he ain't even talk about the ratchet chicks. He talk about the educated class. They will smut out. You will believe in magic what they smut out. And y'all gotta start looking at that. And again, that ain't as Zab personally. I just took the time to piggyback off what he's saying. And again, I don't care what y'all do. But because we're past the kind of, oh, well, I need you to believe I'm right. As far as I'm concerned, people want to say everything is tricking. Go ahead.
All these women that they put up on a pedestal on Instagram, and they don't understand.
I ain't even saying that's what Zab is doing.
No, it don't even matter. I don't even, I don't know what he do, but I'm just saying in general, like a lot of these dudes, they like, for instance, when dudes was talking about thick women, like the cast with Fantastic, they was pulling up Instagrams. I'm like, these same chicks.
Doja ain't even an 8. Doja really got a weak. Doja got a 8 or 9 or 8 face. Doja's body is like built weird to me. I don't know what it is. Her body's built weird. It really is when you actually see it. But and then people talk about the only game you need is shout out to Smurgo.
Smurgo follows me, so he knows exactly where I'm coming from.
Trolling. But what's called said the only game you need is self-improvement and a mouthpiece. Well, actually, you don't need a mouthpiece. Is notice you ain't never seen a black bitch with a white boy other than like Robin Thicke or a couple of like
what's
in a decade exception that got a mouthpiece. Again, the thing about it is, and I'm only saying this, black women should be asking for the same standards in these other motherfuckers that they want in you. And if they not, you need to look at that. And again, black men like, I'm not telling you, believe what you want to believe. Like, people, if y'all want to believe in the mouth, because look, I'm in sales. The style, I just got a book by this dude by the name of Eric Lofton. It's a white dude called The System. And I'm about to, read this. And this motherfucker, he almost got fired from his sales job. He starts off a conversation always saying, man, my first job, I made $100,000. And then he let it sit for a second. You know, people kind of marinating when he's saying, I made 100,000, man. I was real successful. I made 100,000 hamburgers at McDonald's. And then he talks about, and then he goes into how, you know, he basically, it wasn't network marketing. It was like it was real estate. It was real estate. He got in somebody, he had to make sales, and whatever product they were saying, they had to make a quota, missed the quota 3 months in a row. He got with somebody that's like turns out one of really, really Zig Ziglar level salesman. And then he went from last to number one, and he guys on international. This dude's worked with Les Brown. He's worked with Tony. I'm talking about before Tony, like Robbins, like early Tony Robbins. And he worked with a lot of these motherfuckers, pictures, all that to prove it. My point is, you know, niggas have a mouthpiece but can't sell shit. You know, just because you can talk a bitch out of her emotions don't mean you can talk a nigga out some money. You know, that's what real power is, but y'all think power is in the bitch opening her legs. Exactly. And the truth is, you can say what you want about tricking. I can show you what that's worth by dropping some dollars. And then y'all get mad. They
don't understand. You can't take game and broker a deal, because when you deal with other men, you actually have to, you know, talk.
You gotta show the shit too. Yeah. It ain't gonna be no gang like 700. And some niggas can do it, but remember, usually if they can do it, it's because they got a track record. If they catch them, it's because that's the first time they really going bad. It's like they got a track record. Like even Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff had a track record. That's what that shit was, and he had references. Anyway, but like I said, I wish Zab would have came on here. It would have been interesting. He coming in the end. But yeah, I mean, I don't care what y'all do. I mean, y'all gotta. Oh, I love this. Like I said, Eddie Brock was the realest hater of all time. Bro went to church to ask God to directly kill Peter Parker. I remember that shit. That was in that Spider-Man 3. That shit was funny as hell because I used to watch that semi show. But anyway, all right, man. Yeah. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's been a good man. You need to do you have a YouTube channel? You got an Instagram. That's what you got.
Yeah, I got it. But my YouTube is on my music shit. It's not even really like commentating. I'm thinking maybe I can make a separate channel. You know what I'm saying? Because of my stuff, it's got music and all type of shit on there.
You should just make a separate one. Because the thing is, you know, like especially because the thing about you is you actually travel. So when you actually got the stuff out there and shit, you know, motherfuckers to subscribe to it just off the strength of that. So anyway, that's something to talk about. But I know you're doing a lot, especially to chronicle some of the stuff you're doing. You know, because you talk about some of the stuff you do in Medellin and real estate, because nobody really talks about that. I know Dynas talks about that in Africa. One of my favorite videos was always when people did the like tours of the houses in like Africa or Dominican Republic, or sorry, because people don't think that you can have real shit over there because you ain't really seen it.
Yo, I got a guy. Back when I was doing stuff for Andrew's show. I don't know if you know, he's a traveler. We went to DR and I met a dude down there, and I still have the connection. He has mansions for sale for $200,000, and they do mortgages out there. See, because the issue, it's not really an issue, but in Colombia they do things differently, where it's more hands-on cash. Like boom, you want
ain't no loan.
Yeah, there's no loan over there, and the only
y'all look at the cheap, ain't no loan. Go ahead.
Yeah, the only way, because again, I was talking to the girl in Cali. She was a lawyer, so it was 5-6 hours. So I said, "Listen, this is what I want to do. How do I go about doing it?" And basically, it came down to it. I was gonna go there initially and just buy a big property, because if you spend over, I think 150,000 USD, they give you the residency visa. There's an M visa. But it's also, and that's only for like 3 to 5 years.
I wonder how that works for certain countries. Yeah, because that actually be a good way of kind of buying your way into the citizenship.
You basically buy your way. Now you can buy a little. You can invest 25,000, and you can start a business or buy into a business. But the thing with that is, there's Colombia, because of the drug trade that happened like 20, 30 years ago. Everything is super regulated, so they want to see every invoice. They want you to really talk to the government nonstop. So that's why people don't really do that if they're just trying to get into the country. So she was telling me, she said, what you want to do is come in for 2 years straight. She said, put things in your name, little things here and there, nothing crazy, but that's going to build credit, because I have a bank account there right now. She told me, I said, I was letting the money sit. She was like, no, make little purchases, $50, $20 throughout the year, so you can have like a paper trail, so they can see you have, you're doing transactions. So we went through this whole thing. And this is what I just come down and say, like over there, they don't do loans necessarily. If they do a loan, The
They
interest
don't
rate.
understand how much of a credit. They don't understand how much credit is a luxury here, and that's why when they start
Yeah,
to credit crunch that shit, which is gonna be the first wave, what you see, that's gonna fuck a lot of motherfuckers up. Go ahead.
yeah. Over there now, the my second option was if you can find like a hard money lender. Now I actually have one, and I'm not happy with the interest rate. And what they basically do, they fund up to half of the purchase price. So basically, if I have 250 in cash and I'm looking at a place for like 475, 500,
Okay.
they'll front me the 250. But here's the catch with that. The 250, depending on your credit, is based upon the US. Now their APR is going to be from, I think it was 7 to 11%, if I'm accurate, and it was a 5 to 7 year term. So we did it on based upon 150 at, sorry, no, it was 11 to 18%. So we did it just a chart based on 150. You borrow, your place costs 300,000. You borrow 150 from them. Let's just say at 13.5%. The monthly payments would be like $2,700, but that would only be for 7 years, and then you own the place. So I mean, I can go that way. I don't necessarily want to go that way, but that would be like the backup. Otherwise, you're going to have an issue with getting permanent residency, and that's basically what I want to do. I don't want to fly out every 90 days, and I don't want to have to worry about redoing my visa every year and a half just to stay there. That's a lot of paperwork. So, like, dudes really don't understand what power buys. It's not just about the women are just accessories. I keep trying to tell dudes they're going to be there. They're like flies. I have more of a I swat them away more than I deal with them because they're just there. They're annoying. You know what I'm saying? But dudes are so used to chasing at the average chicks. When you start talking about a different level of game, I guess you air quotes, and it has to do with money. For them, money equals work. Work equals, something that they don't want to do. So humans always try to find the easiest way to get from point A to point B, not realizing that the reason why you're in the rut that you're in, dealing with the women that you're dealing with, is because you don't have the financial capacity to do better for yourself. That's just the truth. And that's the hard truth of it all. Because when I'm in New York, and like I said to many people before, a lot of dudes out here have jobs. They don't have careers. And most jobs in New York pay, if you're lucky, maybe $39,000 to $45,000. I'm talking like UPS or something like that. Dudes, especially black men, and All-Star Advisor, he gave me the numbers. He said, I'm not trying to put my financials out there. He said I'm the apex in terms of financials, period, not just in New York. And I was like, I don't even feel like that. But he was like, yeah, compared to where the numbers are, he broke it down to me. I was like, holy shit. And that just lets me know that dudes out here in the whole are just not, when you want to deal with different types of women, it's a class thing. It's not so much game, because the thing, you can have all the game you want. You could probably smash, but she's never going to bring you back to her estate. She's never going to introduce you to her family. So I'm just saying, like, if you want to go to like the next level, that's why Jordan and all these people, they tend to skew with a certain type of woman after maybe the first time they were a black woman, because they see the class isn't there anymore. But I'm just going off.
No, absolutely. No, this is a great way to end it. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it there. So guys, it's been another episode of, because we do need to start having more of those conversations, but more of those conversations will be back in, like when I sit there and start the Patreon and stuff, and I start to look into, I'll upload more of my classic stuff,
Yeah.
but I'm also gonna start really focusing on kind of getting more into my internet marketing network. Well, not even network, internet marketing, affiliate marketing stuff. Because niggas ain't gonna want to do network marketing shit, but the affiliate marketing shit, and like, that's when you could kind of, just like how Hatchet does his little, not little, but his thing with the notary, do my thing, start an internet business. And I mean something that you can really do, not something that's like, oh, you gotta spend this money, do all this
Yeah.
bullshit. Yeah, because that's something that can travel with you. And there's a lot of stuff, especially with Bitcoin now, with like different ways of transacting money, that a lot of these things, like you can have a card where the stuff pays you. So, it'll put options into people. And that's something where I'm going to go at. That's actually something I'll probably really be kicking off in 2022 as far as in this space, because then, I'll have everything kind of lined up the way I want to do it. So anyway, man, it's been
Yeah.
great. I'm gonna drop you down real quick.
All right.
Peace out. All right. So, like I said, y'all, this has been great. This has been 3 hours. So, combine this with that, it's 4 hours. So, if y'all think this was some real shit, make sure y'all hit the Cash App. Much appreciated. And other than that, this has been another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. I'm your host, Edward Anderson. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. I appreciate the subscribers been coming through. I appreciate y'all that's been coming in, giving me engagement. That's definitely going to be important, especially when I do these uploads. So definitely support, definitely really check the channel, really push it. That definitely helps me out. And again, this is Edward signing off. Peace.